chosen one. God cannot keep this secret from you anymore. The specific hour when the holding had to stop has arrived. And the reason you are in this stillness at this exact minute is because heaven coordinated every small delay in your day to deliver you here to this pause, to this attention, to this message, with your name threaded through it. You have sensed something was forming, the repeating numbers you could not ignore, the dreams you could not explain, the closed doors that kept you from catastrophes you did not know were coming, the long silence you interpreted as abandonment and learned to carry quietly. None of it was random. Every part of it was architecture. The architecture is now finished, and what was being built is about to be shown to you, layer by layer, over the hours that follow this moment, until the sealed thing has been fully handed over. Emergency is the wrong frame for what is happening tonight. The word heaven is using is release. Something is going to happen, and it is going to happen because the waiting season has done its work. Stay in the stillness with me. The unsealing begins now. Everything I am about to share with you over the next hours is free. You do not need to buy anything. You do not need to sign up for anything. But if at some point your spirit tells you there is more for you than the words of this message alone, the link in the description and the pinned comment below is where that more lives. Only open it if you feel led. Before we go one sentence further, I need you to do 3 things with me. They will take you less than a minute. And the reason I am asking for them is not because I am being theatrical. It is because what we are about to walk through requires a specific kind of attention. And attention is something you have to build, not something you can assume is already here. The first thing, stop scrolling. If your finger was about to move, let it rest. The scroll is the thing that pulls you out of messages like this before they can finish their work in you. For the next hours, we are keeping this one screen. The second thing, if there are people in the room with you right now, understand this message is not for them, it is for you. Step into another room if you can. Put your headphones in if you need to. Make the space around you private, because what is about to be said has your name on it and no one else's. The third thing, take one slow breath with me. Not a dramatic one, just one real, unhurried breath that lets your body know we are settling in for something longer and heavier than ordinary. Now listen, you did not arrive at this message by accident. I know how it looks from the outside. You were doing whatever you were doing. You picked up your phone, or you were already holding it. Something led you to this exact screen, at this exact minute. It feels like a normal sequence of small decisions. But I want you to think back, honestly, across the last 24 hours of your life. Think about the small delays, the thing you were supposed to do that got pushed, the conversation that almost happened but did not, the message you almost replied to but left unread, the traffic that was worse than it should have been, the late wake-up or the early wake-up that did not match your alarm, the food you did not finish, the place you almost drove to but cancelled, the phone call you were about to make but set the phone down instead. Every single one of those small adjustments was doing something. They were adjusting you. They were moving you, piece by piece, into the specific posture you are in right now, because the message that was being prepared for you needed to reach you in this exact condition. Not the condition you would have been in if everything had gone according to your original plan. The condition you are actually in now, which is slightly off from what you expected and slightly more available than you normally are. Heaven is more precise than most people give it credit for. It does not guess. It does not hope. You will land in the right place and hope for the best. It arranges. And the fact that you are here, in this stillness, with this level of attention, is not the result of a random algorithm scrolling you into a video thumbnail. It is the result of a specific divine arrangement that began long before tonight. It began, for some of you, months ago. For some of you, years ago. You have been in the funnel of this moment for longer than you realize, and tonight is where the funnel opens. And if you are still here, 5 minutes in, it is because something inside of you already recognized what is happening. Something inside of you already whispered, "This one is different. I am not going to try to talk you into staying." The ones who needed the full message will not leave. The ones who came here for the thumbnail alone will drift away in the next minute or two, and that is also fine. But if you are feeling the weight of this begin to settle on you, do not move. Do not turn this off. What comes next is the reason you were brought. And before we go one layer deeper, I want to tell you exactly what you will walk away with if you stay until the last sentence of this message. You will walk away understanding the full secret that God has been keeping, revealed one layer at a time, until the final layer names who you are becoming and who you have always been. You will walk away with a specific practice I am going to hand you, called the 72-hour stillness protocol, that you can use within 3 days of hearing this to hold the shift that is already happening inside you. You will walk away with a daily discipline I am going to teach you, called the witness practice, that will help you see the confirmations that are already moving around your life, but that you have not been trained to recognize. You will walk away with a guided activation that places the revelation into your body, not just your head. And at the very end, I am going to speak something specific over your life that I believe will stay with you long after this message is over. That is what you receive if you finish this with me. And I am asking you, chosen one, do not leave before the last sentence. The last sentence is where the sealing completes. Now, before we go into the first layer, I want you to hold one image in your mind, because we are going to come back to it many times across the hours that follow. And the image is going to keep unlocking new meaning every time we return to it. Picture a dam, not a small one, a massive one. High, wide, holding back a river that has been rising for years. The river has been building for longer than the people who built the dam expected. There is pressure on the other side of the wall that is no longer comfortable. The water has reached a line it has never touched before. And the people who built the dam are not panicking as the water rises. They are nodding slowly. Because this is the moment they were waiting for. The moment when the river has finally become what it needed to be before the gates could be opened. That dam is in the heavens. And behind it, there is a river that has been forming, specifically for you, for a very long time. You have felt the pressure of it on the edges of your awareness. You have not known what it was. You have mistaken it for anxiety. You have mistaken it for the sense that something was about to go wrong. You have mistaken it for a heaviness you could not trace to any specific event in your life. You have even gone to doctors and therapists and priests and pastors and healers, and none of them could name exactly what it was, because what you were feeling was not a condition of yours that needed to be fixed. It was the pressure of a river that was being held back on your behalf until the moment of release. Tonight, chosen one, I am telling you, the gate is being opened. Before we name what has been kept, I need to name what you are. You are the kept one, not the forgotten one, not the left behind one. The kept one. There is a difference between these, and the difference is the whole foundation of the next several hours of your life. If you get this one distinction right, everything else we walk through will land correctly. If you get it wrong, you will keep interpreting the rest of the message through the old lens of someone who thinks they have been abandoned, and the message will not be able to do its work in you. So, listen carefully. The forgotten one has been abandoned. The kept one has been protected. The forgotten one is waiting for someone to finally remember them. The kept one is being held by an attention so focused, so specific, so sustained across years, that the word for it in the ancient texts is not attention at all. The word for it is covenant. Covenant is a keeping word. Covenant says, I bound myself to you before the beginning of the thing, and the binding cannot be undone by the length of the wait, and the binding cannot be undone by the silence of the wait, and the binding cannot be undone by your own doubts about whether I am still in the room. You were kept, chosen one, because what you were going to carry required keeping. The world does not hand out the kind of assignment you were born with to people who have not been refined, and refinement is a slow word. It is a word that includes silence. It is a word that includes confusion. It is a word that includes the specific feeling of being overlooked, while other people around you seem to be moving forward into lives that were going somewhere, while you stayed in a room that did not seem to be going anywhere at all. You were not overlooked. You were being kept. The difference is going to become obvious across the next hours, and the difference is going to change how you interpret every year that felt like it was wasted, because none of it was wasted. The wasted years are a story that belongs to someone else. They do not belong to the kept one. The kept one does not have wasted years. The kept one has formation years. The kept one has the years that were building the vessel strong enough to carry what was coming. And the first thing I want you to understand, before anything else, is that the silence you have been interpreting as the absence of God was actually the presence of God in a form you were not trained to recognize. God in the silence is still God. God holding the gate shut so that the pressure behind it can build correctly is still God. God keeping the secret until the vessel is ready is still God. God protecting you from what would have arrived too early is still God. You were never alone in the waiting. You were being kept in the waiting, and the two are not the same thing at all. I want to talk to you honestly about the waiting, because we cannot walk the rest of this message if we do not sit inside the waiting first and let it be seen. You have been waiting for a specific thing for a long time. I do not know your specific thing. I do not need to. You know. You know the thing you stopped talking about out loud because it started to feel embarrassing to still be hoping for it after all this time. You know the thing you prayed about so many times that eventually you stopped praying about it, not because you gave up, but because the words started feeling hollow in your own mouth. You know the thing that you used to mention to close friends at the start, when you were still excited and still believing, and then slowly stopped mentioning as the months and years stretched on, because the look on their faces when you brought it up had changed. It used to be, oh yes, that is still coming for you. Then it became, are you still waiting on that? Then it became nothing at all. Nothing said out loud. Just a silent, shared understanding between you and the people around you that the thing you were waiting for had become a topic that no one talks about anymore. And you have been carrying it alone. The weight of hope that has nowhere to go is one of the heaviest weights a human being can carry. Grief has rituals around it. Grief has support groups. Grief has a finish line of some kind, even if the finish line is slow. Hope that refuses to die, but also refuses to be fulfilled, is a weight that does not have a name in most languages. It just sits on your chest and makes it hard to plan the next year of your life without flinching. You have been flinching. You have been flinching every time someone brings up long-term plans, because you do not know how to answer when the thing you are most committed to has not arrived yet, and the timeline for it does not exist on paper anywhere. You have been flinching every time a birthday passes. You have been flinching every new year when the list of hopes you wrote last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, is still largely unfulfilled. You have been flinching when people ask about your dreams, because the real dream, the real one, is too tender to speak into a room that will not handle it carefully. I see the flinching, and I am telling you, chosen one, the flinching has a reason, and the reason is not that the hope was false. The hope was never false. The hope was early, and early is not the same as never. Early is the word you use when something is coming at a specific moment, and you are experiencing the feeling of the coming before the arrival has happened. Early is actually a confirmation. It is the internal sense of something that is real, arriving before the external evidence has caught up with it. You have been early. You have not been wrong. And I want you to sit inside that word for a moment, because the word early is going to hold a lot of you tonight. The word early is what your soul has been trying to tell you, and the word never is what the world around you has been trying to teach you. The soul was right. The world was wrong. I know that is a strong claim, chosen one. I do not make it casually. I make it because we are about to walk through the evidence, and the evidence is going to show you that the specific thing you have been waiting for was not delayed because of anything you did wrong, was not cancelled because of anything that was broken, and was not a fantasy because of anything that was naive. It was waiting for a specific alignment. That alignment has now arrived, and you are about to understand, layer by layer, what the alignment actually is. Before we go into the deeper layers, I want to walk you through 3 specific signs that have been showing up in your life, signs that prove the alignment is already in motion. I am going to name 3 right now. There are 2 more, but I am going to save them for a little bit, because the first 3 are the ones you have been asking about the longest, and you need them validated first before the other 2 can land correctly. The first sign is the numbers. You have been seeing numbers. Specifically, you have been seeing the same sequences of numbers over and over in ways that feel like they cannot possibly be coincidence anymore. The clock turning to 11:11 when you looked up for the first time in an hour, without knowing why you looked up. The receipt that totaled 333, when the item you bought should not have totaled that. The license plate in traffic that was 444, right in front of you, at a moment when you were thinking about something specific. The text message that came through at 5:55. The song that hit exactly 1 minute and 11 seconds in, at the moment you were thinking about something else entirely, and the lyrics at that exact second said the thing you needed to hear. You have tried to explain this to yourself. You have tried to say, the brain notices patterns. That is a real thing. And yes, it is true that the brain notices patterns. It is also true that the frequency with which you are seeing these specific sequences has exceeded anything that can be explained by pattern recognition alone. Something is pointing at you. Something is saying, pay attention. Something is saying, you are on the specific path. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. Hear me carefully. In the scriptures, when God wanted to get the attention of someone he had an assignment for, he used signs that were visible in the ordinary world. The burning bush that did not burn up, for Moses. The pillar of cloud by day, for the whole nation in the wilderness. The fleece wet when the ground was dry, for Gideon. The ground wet when the fleece was dry, for Gideon again when he needed a second confirmation. God has always used the physical world to get the attention of the people. He was preparing for something specific. The numbers are one of the modern forms of that same communication. They are not magic. They are not superstition. They are a ping, a tap on the shoulder, a gentle, persistent reminder that you are being watched by something larger than your daily life, and that something has a specific message about the timing you are in. The numbers you have been seeing are telling you that the timing is now. The second sign is the emotional waves. You have been going through waves of emotion that do not match anything that is actually happening in your daily life. You will be fine. You will be calm. You will be walking through an ordinary day, doing ordinary things, and then, without warning, a wave of peace will come over you that has no external cause. You did not earn it. You did not pray for it. In that moment, it just came. It sat with you for a few minutes or a few hours, and then it left as quietly as it arrived. Then, sometimes within the same day, a wave of sadness will come, and you will not be able to explain it. Nothing bad happened. No one said something that hurt you. No old memory came back uninvited. But you are suddenly grieving something you cannot name, and the grief is real, and it is deep, and it has no story attached to it. Then, sometimes within the same week, a wave of hope will come that is so tender and so specific that you are almost afraid to breathe on it in case it goes away. And you sit with it, very still, letting it stay as long as it wants to stay. And all of this is happening inside of you while the external circumstances of your life have not changed. This is not instability. This is attunement. You are not going in and out of moods randomly. You are being brought through a sequence of emotional frequencies that are preparing you for the specific state you need to be in when the thing you have been waiting for arrives. Each wave is installing something inside you. The peace is installing your ability to receive without clenching. The sadness is releasing what was taking up the space the new thing needs to occupy. The hope is practicing the muscle of believing, which has to be strong enough to hold what is coming without snapping under the weight. You are not unstable, chosen one. You are being tuned. The third sign is the dreams. You have been having vivid dreams, especially around 3 in the morning. Either you have been waking up around 3, sometimes with a specific thought already fully formed before you are even fully awake, or you have been having dreams that feel more real than your waking life. Dreams where specific people say specific things. Dreams where you are, somewhere you have never been, and you can describe the details when you wake up as if you had actually been there. You have tried to tell some of these dreams to the people in your life, and most of them do not know what to do with the description. They smile and change the subject. They tell you, it is probably just stress. You have stopped telling them. Keep having the dreams. Keep writing them down, if you can. Even just a sentence in the notes on your phone. Even just a single image. This is not random sleep activity. This is contact. The 3 AM wake is an ancient time in the mystical traditions of many cultures. Some call it the hour of God. It is the hour when the layers between the seen and the unseen are considered thinnest. And the reason you have been waking in that hour or dreaming in that hour is because something has been making contact with you during those hours, and the contact is specific to the season you are in right now. You do not have to interpret every dream. You do not have to understand every wake. You just have to notice that it is happening and trust that the part of you that is being spoken to in those hours is the part of you that is being prepared. The dreams are part of your formation. They are giving you in the unseen what the seen world is not yet able to give you. And when the shift arrives, you are going to look back and realize that some of the things you were seeing in those dreams were instructions that had been quietly downloaded into you while you were asleep and were waiting for the right moment to activate. So, here is what I want you to do with these 3 signs. I do not want you to try to interpret them alone. I do not want you to try to force them to mean something bigger than what they are. I want you to simply register that they are happening and that they are confirmation that the alignment we are about to walk deeper into is real. They are the crumbs on the path. They are the small evidences. The bigger evidence is in the secret itself, which we are getting closer to with every layer. If 1 or 2 of these signs just landed on you specifically, and you felt the small shock of being seen, type the numbers 111 in the comments below. Just those 3 ones. It is a quiet way of saying, I am here. I am seeing what you are showing me. I am staying for the rest of this. Now, I want to promise you, directly, 3 things about what comes next across the rest of this message, so that you know exactly what you are committing to when you stay. The first thing I am going to do for you, across the hours that follow, is walk you into the secret itself. I am not going to tell you the whole secret in 1 sentence. I am going to reveal it, layer by layer, the way it is supposed to be revealed. Because a secret of this weight will collapse a person who receives it all at once. Each layer will unlock the next one. You will feel the shift as it happens. You will not need me to tell you when you have arrived. You will know, because something inside you will settle into a place it has not been before. The second thing I am going to do is explain the exact reason the timing had to be now, and not a year ago, and not a year from now. You have been waiting, chosen one, and the waiting has been real and long. But the timing was not arbitrary. There is a specific structural reason that tonight is the hour the gate was opened. And once I show you the structural reason, you are going to feel something release in you that has been clenched for a long time. You are going to forgive the timing. And that forgiveness is part of the receiving. The third thing I am going to do is hand you, before the end of this message, 2 practical frameworks you can use in your life starting tomorrow. Not theories, not general spiritual advice. 2 specific practices, named, with steps, with conditions for when to use them, that are going to help you hold the shift that is happening inside you. Because the shift is real, and the shift requires a container, and the container is the practices. I will walk you through both. So, that is what I am committing to you. Reveal the secret, layer by layer. Explain the timing. Hand you the tools. And then, at the very end, I am going to speak a specific word over your life that I believe will stay with you long after this message is over. Stay with me. The next layer begins now. But before we go into the wilderness years, into the specific reason the desert was doing what it was doing, I want to show you 2 more signs. Sign 4 and sign 5. And sign 5, especially, is the one that most chosen ones have never had named for them, because it is so ordinary that no one has thought to call it what it actually is. It happens almost every week. You have experienced it. You have probably not told anyone. Sign 4 is going to explain why certain rooms in your life suddenly started feeling different when you walked into them. Sign 5 is going to explain the specific kind of coincidences that have been happening around you in the last few weeks that you have kept to yourself. Do not leave. We are going into both. Welcome back, Chosen One. If you are still here, it is because the first 3 signs landed on you the way they were supposed to land. Take one more breath with me before we continue, because the next layer has more weight than the first. The 4th sign is that certain rooms in your life have started feeling different, and you have not been able to explain why. Specifically, rooms you used to be comfortable in have started feeling heavy. Conversations you used to enjoy have started feeling draining. People you used to be able to spend hours with have started making you want to leave the room within 20 minutes. And the strangest part of this, the part that has probably confused you the most, is that nothing has actually changed about those rooms, or those conversations, or those people. They are the same as they have always been. It is not them, it is you. But not in the way you have been afraid of. You have been afraid, quietly, that you were becoming too picky. You have been afraid that you were becoming cold. You have been afraid that you were losing your patience with people who used to be close to you, and that maybe that meant something was wrong with your heart. I have heard you ask yourself this question, in the silence of your own mind, late at night. Am I becoming someone I do not want to be? No, Chosen One. You are not becoming someone you do not want to be. You are becoming someone you were always supposed to be. And the old rooms cannot hold the new you without friction. The rooms did not change. You changed. The friction is not a sign of something wrong. The friction is the sign that the change is real. This is not you turning cold. This is you being pulled out of environments that were made for an earlier version of your life. When a frequency shifts inside a person, the environments that matched the old frequency start to feel like the wrong key on a piano. It is not that the note is wrong, it is that it is the wrong note for the song you are now playing. And your body registers that wrongness as heaviness, as drain, as the sudden desire to leave early. Follow the drain. It is a compass. It is pointing you, gently but firmly, toward the rooms you are meant to be in next. The 5th sign is the one almost no one has ever named for you. The 5th sign is the coincidences, and not the big, obvious, movie script coincidences, the small ones. The small, specific ones that you have noticed but kept to yourself because you could not figure out how to explain them to anyone without sounding like you were reaching for meaning. You will think about someone, specifically and randomly, and within an hour or within a day, you will hear from them, or you will drive past them, or their name will come up in a completely unrelated conversation. You will be humming a song in your head, a song you have not heard in months, and then you will walk into a store, and that exact song will be playing on the speakers. You will be wondering about a specific topic, a specific question, and then a random article, or a random stranger, or a random video will bring it up within the next day. And you will think, that is strange. And you will go on with your day. And you will not tell anyone. I am telling you to start noticing. I am telling you to start writing them down. Even just a one-line note on your phone, because the coincidences are not random. The coincidences are the visible edges of a conversation that heaven is having with you in real time. And every time one of them happens, it is heaven saying, I am here. I am paying attention. I am showing you that the invisible is actually present. In the mystical traditions across many cultures, this phenomenon has a name. Some call it synchronicity. Some call it the wink. Some call it the trail. But they all agree on one thing. When the small coincidences start piling up in a specific season of a person's life, it means that person is being prepared for something that will soon move from invisible to visible. You are in that season, chosen one. The coincidences are stacking because the season of stacking is almost over. So let me name the 5 signs together so that you see them as the pattern that they are. Numbers that repeat. Emotional waves that do not match your day. Vivid dreams around 3 in the morning. Rooms that used to fit and now do not. Coincidences that keep happening and have no explanation. Any one of these, on its own, could be dismissed. All 5 showing up in the same season of your life are not something you can dismiss anymore. The pattern is the proof. The pattern is heaven, stacking evidence on your plate until you have to take the evidence seriously. And the reason heaven is stacking the evidence is not to convince you of the signs. The signs are not the point. The signs are the preparation. The signs are heaven knocking over and over, because the door is about to be opened, and heaven does not want you to be asleep when the door opens. You have been listening for 15 minutes now, maybe 20. Most people would have drifted by now. You did not drift. That is not nothing. That is not random attention. That is the part of you that already knows why you are here, staying in the seat, even while the surface part of you is still figuring out what is happening. The deep part of you is the part that heard the invitation, and the deep part of you has already said yes. Now, I want to take you into the wilderness, years, because before we can walk into what has been kept, we have to walk honestly back through the season that was keeping you. And I want to start by flipping a story you have been telling yourself about those years, because the story you have been telling is the wrong story, and the wrong story is what has been weighing you down. What felt like isolation was actually incubation. What felt like delay was actually development. What felt like silence was actually strategy. What felt like being forgotten was actually being formed. What felt like the slow years were actually the exact years you needed to survive the weight of what was coming. Say those back to yourself, not out loud, if you cannot, just in the private space of your own mind. Isolation was incubation. Delay was development. Silence was strategy. Being forgotten was being formed. The slow years were survival training for the speed of what is coming next. This is the reframe. This is the first real shift. And if you let it land, it is going to rearrange how you look at a lot of years of your life. I want to walk you through 3 specific reasons that the wilderness had to be as long as it was. Because most teachers of this kind of message will tell you that the wilderness was for your good and leave it there and expect you to accept that generality. I am not going to leave it there. I am going to give you 3 specific reasons, and I want you to hear all 3, because all 3 are parts of the same architecture, and you need all 3 to understand what was actually being built. The first reason the wilderness was, as long as it was, is that your character needed formation. I know how that sounds. Let me say it without the religious packaging. Let me say it in plain words. You are about to carry something. Whether you fully understand it yet or not, you are about to walk into a season where you will be given a level of visibility, or a level of resource, or a level of influence, or a level of access that you did not have before. And the version of you that existed 5 years ago, or 7 years ago, or 10 years ago, would not have survived that level. I am not saying this to insult the version of you that existed back then. That version was doing the best it could. But the version of you from earlier in your life had wounds that had not yet healed. It had hungers that would have eaten what was coming. It had insecurities that would have twisted what was coming into something unrecognizable. It had blind spots that would have wrecked what was coming within 2 years of receiving it. The wilderness was healing those wounds. The wilderness was feeding those hungers, just enough that they were no longer desperate. The wilderness was walking you, patiently, through the situations that exposed each blind spot, one at a time, so you could see it, sit with it, and integrate it. Think about who you were 5 years ago. Really think. The things you reacted to, the ways you defended yourself that did not serve you, the things you needed from other people that they could not give, the amount of approval you required to feel steady. Now think about who you are today. Not perfectly healed, not finished, but different. You are steadier. You are less reactive. You are less dependent on the external noise. You can hold more silence without flinching. You can sit inside uncertainty longer without needing to force something. You can tell the difference between what is yours to carry and what is not yours to carry. You have grown in 100 small ways that no one has thrown you a party for. Those 100 small ways are not accidents. Those are the formation work the wilderness was doing in you the whole time. And it was slow, because character does not form fast. It cannot be rushed. It can only be walked through, one situation at a time, until the patterns inside you are different. You are a different person than you were when the waiting started. And the different person is the one who can now carry what is about to arrive. If the wilderness had ended sooner, it would have ended before the formation was complete, and the arrival would have broken you. The wilderness was not punishing you. The wilderness was finishing you. Let me pause here for a moment. I want you to notice that you have been listening to this for almost 20 minutes now. Your posture has a specific shape. Your breathing has a specific rhythm. Something has already shifted a little in how you are holding this. Before we go into the second reason, just breathe once with me, slowly. Nothing to receive in this breath. Nothing to release. Just one real breath. Because what comes next has more weight, and weight is easier to hold when you are breathing. Okay, let me continue. The second reason the wilderness was, as long as it was, is that the timing had to align with forces outside of you. This one is harder to hear, because it reminds us that our lives are not happening only inside of us. They are happening inside of a larger web, and the larger web has its own timing. The thing you have been waiting for, chosen one, requires specific people to be in specific places before it can arrive. It requires specific doors to be closed before the correct door can open. It requires specific situations in the lives of other people, people you may not have even met yet, to resolve themselves. So that when you step into the next season, the people you are supposed to step into it with are available, are ready, are facing the right direction to find you. You have been waiting, but so have others. There are people right now, on the other side of your wait, who have also been on a wait of their own. Their wait has been shaping them, the same way your wait has been shaping you. And the exact moment at which your wait ends is the exact moment at which their wait is also ending, because the meeting between you was always going to be the intersection of two parallel waits. If your wait had ended sooner, they would not have been there yet. If their wait had ended sooner, you would not have been there yet. The waiting was synchronized. You did not know it. They did not know it. But the architecture knew it. This is why it is so common for chosen ones to look at other people who seem to have their breakthroughs happen earlier and feel a kind of ache. Why them and not me? Why was theirs easier? I will tell you why. Because their breakthrough was not arriving into the same web that yours has to arrive into. Their breakthrough had fewer people to coordinate. Their breakthrough was a simpler equation. Yours is a more complicated equation because the assignment connected to yours involves more moving pieces that had to line up before the shift could be released. You were not the one being punished while others were rewarded. You were the one whose assignment required more architecture, and architecture takes more time. And the fact that the architecture is now in place is the exact reason the gate is now being opened. It was not opened before because it could not be opened before. The pieces were not ready. They are ready now. The third reason the wilderness was, as long as it was, is the one most people never hear, and I want you to lean in for this one, because it is going to change how you think about the years that are behind you and the years that are in front of you. The third reason is that during the wilderness, something invisible was being built around your life, not inside you, around you. Imagine an architect quietly building the foundations of a house around a place where a person is sleeping. The person wakes up one day and the house is there, and they do not remember the building of it. They do not remember the trucks. They do not remember the workers. They do not remember the long nights. But the house stands, and it was not there the morning before they went to sleep. That is what has been happening in the unseen realm, around your life. Specific people have been placed in positions that will matter to you. You have not met them yet. Or you have met them, and you did not realize what they were going to be. Specific situations have been quietly resolved in your favor, and you were not told about any of it. Specific protections have been set up in places you do not know about to catch you when certain things that are coming would have otherwise broken you. You have been walking through your life thinking nothing was being built. In fact, everything was being built. You were simply not shown the construction, because if you had watched the construction, you would have tried to help, and your help would have slowed it down. I want you to think of a specific moment from the last few years where something unexpected worked out in your favor, something you cannot fully explain, something that should not have gone as smoothly as it went, something where the right person showed up at the right time, or the right opportunity came from a direction you were not expecting, or a difficulty you thought was going to crush you somehow softened at the last minute. You have such a moment, maybe several of them. You probably did not think much of them at the time. You may have said to yourself, "That was lucky. That was not lucky, chosen one. That was the invisible architecture becoming visible for a second, just long enough for you to notice, before it went back into the unseen and continued its work. That was proof of the house being built. That was heaven lifting the corner of the veil, just for a moment, so that you would have enough evidence to trust the part of the process you could not see. The house is almost finished, and when the house is finished, you will be invited to move into it. That is the shift we are walking toward. The wilderness was not empty. The wilderness was the room you were sleeping in, while the foundation of your next life was being poured into the ground around you. And you are about to wake up and discover that you are already standing inside the finished structure. Remember the dam I asked you to picture at the beginning of this message, the massive dam, the river rising on the other side. The dam is not failing. The dam is not cracking. The dam is being opened on purpose. At the exact moment the river has reached the height that makes the release correct. And when the gate is raised, the water does not trickle. The water moves. It moves with weight and force and direction. It changes the land it flows across. It reshapes what was downstream. That is what is coming. That is what the 3 reasons were preparing you for. Your character had to be strong enough to stand in a current like that without being knocked over. The people around you had to be the right people to receive the current alongside you. The invisible architecture had to be built solidly enough to hold the new shape of your life. All 3 are done. The dam opens now. And because the dam is opening now, I want to give you a small preview of what the new season is actually going to look like. Not everything. We are not near the full revelation yet. But I want to hand you a few specific characteristics of the season that is beginning so that you can start recognizing it when it shows up in small ways this week. The first characteristic of the new season is that speed is going to return. Things that have taken months to move will start moving in days. Things that have been stuck, frozen, refusing to yield, will begin to unlock one after another, and the pattern will be close enough in time that you will recognize it as a pattern, not a fluke. The second characteristic is that the right people will start showing up in ordinary places. You will be somewhere unremarkable, doing something ordinary, and a conversation will start that you were not planning for, and the conversation will lead somewhere you were not expecting. You will leave that conversation with a strange feeling that something just connected. That strange feeling is the correct feeling. 2. Trust it. The third characteristic is that the peace will outlast the shock. When the changes begin to arrive, and they will begin to arrive in quick succession, there will be a part of you that feels shocked. A part of you that says, I waited so long, and now everything is happening at once. Let the shock come. Do not fight it. But notice that underneath the shock, there is a peace that is not being disturbed. The peace is the new baseline. The shock is the surface. The peace is what you built in the wilderness, and the shock is what the surface of your mind needs to catch up with. The fourth characteristic is that your old explanations will stop being enough. You are going to find yourself in situations where the old way you used to explain how your life works will no longer fit. You will try to apply the old framework, and the old framework will not reach. That is not confusion. That is your old operating system being upgraded. You will be given a new framework as you need it. Trust the upgrade. The fifth characteristic is that you will begin to witness yourself from a slightly different seat. You will catch yourself doing things, saying things, standing in situations that the older version of you would not have been able to do. And you will feel the small internal comment, I did not used to be able to do this. That comment is correct. You are not imagining the growth. You are registering it. That is what it feels like to be the new version of yourself, arriving in real time. Hold those 5 characteristics lightly. Do not force them, but do not forget them either. They are a small map for the terrain we are walking into. And with this, I have fulfilled the first of my 3 promises to you. I told you I would confirm that the secret is real and that it has structure. I have just done that. The signs are the confirmation. The reasons for the wilderness are the structure. The secret exists. The keeping was real. The release is happening. If that lands on you, if something just clicked into place, type the words, "I see it," in the comments below. Those 3 words. That is your acknowledgement. That is the part of you that just caught up with what the deep part of you already knew. Now, we have walked through the signs and the reasons. We have sat inside the waiting and reframed it. We have named the architecture that was being built in you and around you. But we have not yet named what the secret actually is. Before we can get to the secret itself, I have to introduce you to someone. There is a man in the scriptures whose assignment was almost impossible. He was given a vision that was so far beyond the time he was living in that he was told by heaven directly to seal it, to close it up, to trust that the vision was real, but to accept that he was not going to be the one who saw it unfold. He was told that the vision would be understood at a later time by people who were not yet alive, in a season that would not arrive for centuries. And he did what he was told. His name, Chosen One, is going to unlock the next layer of what I am saying to you, because his story is the mirror of your story. His sealing is the mirror of your waiting. And his moment of the seal being opened is the mirror of the moment you are now standing in. I will tell you his name, and I will tell you what he saw, and I will tell you why his story proves that your waiting was exactly as holy as it felt. That begins in the next part. His name is Daniel. And if you have been around the scriptures for any length of time, you have heard his name before. You know the story about the lions and the den. You know the story about the 3 friends and the furnace. Those are the stories that get told to children, that get printed on picture books, that get simplified into lessons about courage. But the story I am going to tell you tonight is not a children's story. The story I am going to tell you is the one most teachers quietly skip over, because it is strange and it is long, and it does not have the kind of ending that preachers like to close on. It is, however, the story that holds the key to what has been happening to you. Daniel was an old man by the time this particular story begins, not the young man who was thrown into the lion's den, not the young man who refused the king's food. The Daniel I am going to walk you through tonight is an elder, somewhere around 85 years old, still living in exile, still serving in a foreign empire, still paying attention to things that most people his age had already learned to stop paying attention to. He had been carrying something for most of his life. He had been watching his people live under other people's kings. He had been watching his generation die in a land that was not their home. He had been praying the same prayers for the same promises for so many decades that the prayers had become part of his breathing. And at this point in his life, Daniel was not a man who was expecting something new. He was a man who was simply trying to finish the walk with his hands still open. Then one day, according to the record we have of him, he decided to fast. He did not fast for 1 day. He did not fast for 3. He decided to fast for 3 full weeks, 21 days. No rich food, no meat, no wine, nothing that gave him pleasure. And while he fasted, he prayed. And here is what the record says happened. On the 21st day, standing by the side of a river, Daniel looked up and saw someone. And the someone was not a man in the ordinary sense. The record describes this figure as blazing, clothed in a kind of light that no human being is supposed to wear, with eyes like burning fire, and a voice that came out of him like the sound of a multitude. The people who were with Daniel could not see what Daniel was seeing, but they felt the pressure of it. The record says, They ran and hid, trembling, because their bodies knew something was in the air, even though their eyes could not locate it. Daniel was left alone, standing in front of a being who had just crossed from a realm he was not supposed to be able to see. And here is what the being said to Daniel first. This part. Do not miss this part, because this is the part that is going to reframe something inside of you tonight. The being said to Daniel, your words were heard the moment you opened your mouth, on the very first day that you began to pray about this. Let that sit, the very first day, not day 21, not day 18, not day 10, the first day. And then the being continued. The reason I am just now arriving, the reason the answer took 21 days to reach you, is not because the answer was not sent on day 1. The answer was sent on day 1. I was sent on day 1. But there is a resistance in the unseen realm that I had to push through, and the resistance held me back for 21 days before I could reach you. Chosen one, I want you to stop and receive this, because this is one of the most important principles in the entire scripture. Your prayers are not unheard because of silence on the other end. Your prayers are not unheard because God has forgotten you. The delay between the praying and the arriving is not a measurement of whether you were heard. It is a measurement of the resistance that the answer had to push through to reach you. Every delay you have experienced has been a delay in the crossing, not in the hearing, not in the sending, in the crossing. And the length of your waiting is not the measurement of whether the answer was real. The length of your waiting is the measurement of the size of what was pushing through for you. Now, after this being had explained the delay to Daniel, he did what he had actually come to do. He showed Daniel a vision. The vision was enormous. It was unlike anything Daniel had ever seen before. It was a sweeping look across the future, kingdoms rising and falling, wars being fought by names that had not yet been spoken, rulers who would not be born for hundreds of years. A long arc of human history that Daniel was somehow being allowed to witness from where he stood, in one piece of time, in one piece of the story. And Daniel did what any real human being would do when shown something that large. He collapsed. The record says he had no strength left. He said, "My life left me. I stood like a dead man." The being had to touch him and lift him back up so that he could even keep receiving what was being given. What is important here is that what Daniel was being shown was not about his own life. None of the events in the vision were going to happen in his lifetime. None of the kings in the vision were kings he would live to see. None of the wars were wars he would fight. None of the rescues were rescues he would witness. Daniel was being shown something that was not for him, and he was being shown it at the end of his life, when he had no power to do anything about it, and no time to spread the word, and no ability to make it happen faster. The question this raises is obvious. Why? And here is where the story pivots. At the end of the vision, the being gave Daniel an instruction, and the instruction is so important that I want you to lean in for it, because the instruction is the mirror of what has been happening in your life. The being told Daniel, "Take what you have just been shown and seal it up." That was the instruction. Seal it up. Close the book on it. Do not publish it. Do not spread it. Do not try to make people believe it. In your generation, this vision is not for your generation. This vision is sealed until a specific later time. And then the being gave Daniel the timing. The being said, "The words are closed and sealed until the time of the end." Daniel, of course, asked the question anyone would ask in that moment. When? When is the time of the end? What is the date? Give me something I can write down. The being said, "Go your way, Daniel. The words are sealed. They will be understood at the appointed time, but not by you, and not in your language, and not in your generation. Your job is only to receive them, to seal them, and to go." Daniel obeyed. He walked away from the river that day, carrying a vision he could not share, a truth he could not publish, a secret he had been handed and then been told to bury. And he lived out the rest of his years, and he died, and he was buried in a foreign land, and the vision stayed sealed. For centuries, for so many centuries, that the people who eventually did understand what Daniel had been shown were people Daniel never met, in a language Daniel never spoke, looking back at his sealed words from the other side of history, where the sealing finally cracked open and the meaning finally poured out. And I want you to notice something about Daniel's story, because it is the thing that is going to undo a quiet wound you have been carrying. Daniel did not see the fulfillment. He did not get to watch the gate open. He did not get to celebrate the release. He did not get a moment where heaven came down and said, "Well done, the seal has been broken, and now everyone sees what you saw." Daniel carried it sealed, and he went to his grave with it sealed, and the opening happened without him. And yet, somehow, his story did not end as a tragedy. It ended as a holy, completed assignment. Because the point of Daniel's life was not to see the fulfillment. The point of Daniel's life was to carry the sealed thing with integrity until the sealing was over. That was his assignment, not the opening. The keeping and the opening, when it finally came, vindicated every year of the keeping, every year. Now, I want you to sit with the parallel between Daniel and you, because the parallel is closer than you have been letting yourself admit. You have been carrying a sealed thing. You have been praying a prayer whose answer was sent on the day you first prayed it, but whose answer has been pushing through a resistance in the unseen realm for years. And the length of that pushing has been the length of your waiting every year. You counted was not a year of silence. It was a year of crossing. You have been holding a vision you could not publish. You have been holding a sense of something you could not explain to the people around you. You have tried a few times to describe it, and the people you tried to describe it to could not receive it, and you learned to stop trying. You have been carrying a sealed book in the part of your life no one sees. And like Daniel, you have had quiet moments of asking, when does this open? When do I finally get to live in the thing I have been holding? The answer you have been given, sometimes in dreams, sometimes in small internal whispers that you could not prove to anyone else, has always been the same answer Daniel got at the appointed time. Not now. At the appointed time. Here is what I am telling you tonight. Here is the piece that changes Daniel's story into your story. Daniel's sealing lasted centuries. Yours does not. Yours lasted years, and the appointed time for yours is in the same window of your life as the carrying. Your time of the end is not after your death. Your time of the end is now. The seal of your scroll breaks inside your lifetime. The opening happens in your own hands. You are both the Daniel who carried it and the later generation who gets to see it opened, because the architecture of your assignment collapsed both roles into one life. You are the one who sealed and the one who receives. That is almost unheard of in the older story. It is the specific gift of the season you are living in. And this is where I want to close the question I opened at the start of this message. Why now. Why tonight? Why was the holding permitted to stop at this specific hour of your life? Because, chosen one, the time of the end of your scroll has arrived. You were kept for the sealing. You are now being released into the opening. The wilderness protected the scroll from being torn before it was ready. The silence protected the vision from being mocked by a generation that could not hold it. The delay protected the answer from being rushed across a resistance that would have destroyed it. All of it was the keeping. All of it was holy, and all of it is now finished. Before we go into the specific shape of what your new season looks like, I want to pause and ask something of you, gently, because we are about a third of the way through this message together. If what I just walked you through landed, if your eyes are a little wet, or your chest is a little open, or your breathing just slowed a notch without you telling it to. Before we continue, gently press the like button below, not for me, so that this message can move further out into the field and find another chosen one tonight. Someone who has been silently carrying a sealed vision for years and has not yet been told what the sealing was for. Your like is not a favor to a creator. Your like is a small seed that extends the reach of this word into someone else's stillness. That is the only reason I am asking. Now, let me show you the shape of what is being opened, because the opening is not one event. The opening is a season, and the season has specific characteristics, and I want you to recognize the characteristics when they arrive, because they are already beginning to arrive. Some of you will register one or two of these starting this week. Some of you will register them all within the next 90 days. The first shift is relational. The web of people in your life is going to reorganize, and the reorganization is going to happen faster than you are comfortable with. Some people who have been close to you for years, people you assumed would be with you forever, are going to begin to quietly drift. You will notice a slowness in their responses. You will notice a distance that was not there before. You will not have to push them out. They will drift, because the new frequency you are stepping into will not match the frequency of the room they are staying inside of. At the same time, new people will begin to arrive. And the strangeness of their arrival is going to be that they feel familiar on the first meeting. You will meet them and think, I already know this person. I do not know how I know them, but I know them. That feeling is accurate. They are the ones who were being prepared in their own weight, the same way you were being prepared in yours. The meeting is the intersection of two long waits ending at once. Honor it when it happens. Do not try to over-explain it. Just sit with them and let the conversation be what it is. The second shift is vocational. The work you are doing, the role you have been in, the field you have been operating inside of, is going to shift in a specific way. Either the role you are in will begin to shape-shift around you, and you will start being given things you were not being given before, or you will be moved, sometimes suddenly, into a completely new role that you did not apply for, but that came looking for you. Do not cling to the old version of your work. The clinging is the thing that slows the shift. When you sense the old role loosening, do not panic. Do not try to tighten your grip. Let it loosen. What is being prepared on the other side is something that needed the old thing to release before it could be received. And some of you are clinging right now. I can feel it. You are holding on to something the universe has been trying to loosen for months. It is okay to let it go. The letting go is the permission slip for the new thing. The third shift is financial. I am going to be honest with you here, because I do not want to overclaim. The financial shift is not the same for every chosen one. Some of you will experience a breakthrough in income. Some of you will experience an unexpected provision from a direction you did not plan for. Some of you will experience a lifting of a debt that has been weighing on you. Some of you will experience a clearer sense of stewardship, where the money you already have begins to behave differently in your hands because you are in a different inner posture toward it. What is consistent across all of these is this: the old scarcity program inside of you, the one that has been running in the background for years, the one that has made you flinch when you look at your bank account or your bills or your savings. That program is going to begin to quiet. It will not vanish overnight, but it will start to soften. You will catch yourself making decisions from a slightly different place, a place that has more room in it, a place that trusts the provision is coming without having to manufacture it alone. The fourth shift is spiritual. The sense of presence that has felt distant for a while is going to return, and the return is going to be different from the presence you remember. It is going to feel quieter, steadier, more woven into the ordinary moments of your day. You will sense it when you are driving. You will sense it when you are doing dishes. You will sense it when you are alone in a room. You will notice, with a small shock, the first time it happens, that you are being accompanied, gently, through an ordinary moment. And the accompaniment is not something you had to perform to receive. You will also begin to have more sensitivity to what is being communicated to you through ordinary channels. The song that plays, the sentence you read, the random word that lands on you while you are walking. You will start recognizing that you are being spoken to through the everyday fabric of your life, and that the speaking has always been happening, but that your hearing is finally tuning in. The fifth shift is the environment around you. The rooms of your actual life are going to start feeling different. Your home is going to feel different when you walk into it. Not because anything visible has changed, but because the invisible has changed, and your body can feel the invisible now. Places you drive by, places you walk through, places you have been 1,000 times, are going to start feeling like they have been repainted inside their own air. You will catch yourself standing somewhere and realizing it feels lighter than it used to feel. Some of you will be moved physically. You will end up in a different city, or a different house, or a different state, or a different country, within the next chapter of your life. And the move will feel less like a decision you made, and more like a door you walked through. When that door opens for you, do not argue with it. Walk through. 5 shifts: relational, vocational, financial, spiritual, environmental. All 5 are characteristics of the same season, and they do not always arrive in the same order, but they all arrive. Write them somewhere. You will see them again, because over the next months, you are going to start noticing which ones are already in motion and which ones are next. Let me pause here for a moment with you. I want to acknowledge, before we go one step further, that you have walked through a lot in the last however long you have been listening to this. You have sat with the signs. You have sat with the wilderness. You have sat with Daniel and with the reframe of your own waiting. You have let me name things in you that no one else has named. That takes something. That takes a particular kind of courage that very few people practice anymore. The courage to sit still while something is being rearranged in you. The courage to listen to a voice describe your private interior without defending yourself against the description. The courage to stay in a room that is working on you. I see it. I honor it. Take one slow breath with me. Nothing to receive in this breath. Nothing to release. Just one breath. That is your body's acknowledgement that you have already walked further tonight than most people walk in a year of their lives. Okay, continuing. I said there would be two parts to what I hand you about the new season. The first was the characteristics, the 5 shifts. The second is what I am calling the sacred strategy, because underneath the shifts, there are specific movements that are being made on your behalf in the unseen, and I want to name 4 of them so you know what is moving. The first move being made is positioning. You are being placed right now in specific rooms and specific conversations and specific circumstances that are not accidents. Some of them feel random. They are not random. Somebody is arranging the furniture of your life so that when the opening happens, you are in the room where the opening occurs, not in a side room, not in a distant city, in the exact seat where the thing can find you. If you have been in places recently that did not make sense to you, places you did not fully choose, places you went to and wondered afterward why you bothered going, I want you to revisit those places in your memory. Some of them were positioning moves. You do not have to figure out which ones. You simply have to trust that the positioning is happening and stop trying to oversteer your own schedule. The architect is more skilled at placing you than you are at placing yourself right now. The second move being made is the preparation of the people around you. There are people who are going to matter to you in the next chapter, and those people are being prepared for you in parallel with your preparation for them. Their hearts are being softened in places where they needed to be softened. Their wounds are being healed in places where the healing had to happen before they could meet you. Their schedules are being cleared of things that needed to be cleared out before the meeting could take place. You do not have to find these people. You cannot find them. They are being brought. You will meet them in rooms you did not engineer. You will meet them through introductions you did not orchestrate. You will meet them. At the moment, both of your preparations are complete, and not a moment before. The third move being made is the removal of specific blockages. There are blockages in your life right now that you have been trying to push through for months, and the pushing has not worked. Doors that have not opened. Situations that have not resolved. People who have not responded. Opportunities that have not landed. You have pushed, and the pushing has yielded very little. I want you to stop pushing the things that are not yielding, because some of those blockages are being removed for you, and the removal is happening at a pace that is not asking your participation. Other blockages are being removed, but the removal requires you to first stop pushing against them, because your pushing is actually holding them in place in a strange way. You are going to notice, within the next period of time, that something you have been stuck on for a long time suddenly releases. You will not know exactly what shifted. You will just wake up one morning, or finish a conversation, or hang up a phone call, and realize that thing just came unstuck. That is the removal move. It is quiet. It does not announce itself. It just happens. The fourth move being made is the activation of your dormant gifts. There are gifts inside of you that you have had since you were young, but that have been sleeping. You knew they were there. You remember having them as a child. You remember tasting them briefly at different points in your life. But you have not been able to fully access them in a long time because the season you were in did not call them forth. And gifts that are not called forth go dormant to protect themselves. Those gifts are being woken up. You will notice yourself beginning to do things, saying things, sensing things that your earlier self used to be able to do and then forgot how to do. The muscle memory will return faster than you expect. It was never actually lost. It was just asleep. 4 moves. positioning, preparation of people, removal of blockages, activation of gifts. All four are happening at the same time, and you are not the one directing any of them, and that is the specific mercy of this season. You do not have to manage the reorganization of your life. You are being managed by hands that are more careful than your own. And because the season of movement is beginning, I want to hand you a small preview of one of the 2 practical tools I promised you at the start of this message, because you are going to need it within the next 3 days of your life. It is called the 72-hour stillness protocol. I will teach you the whole thing later in this message, fully, step by step, with conditions for when to use it and what to expect when you apply it. But I want to name it now, so that in the part of your brain that holds important things, a small folder with that title is already being created, waiting to be filled. The 72-hour stillness protocol is a specific 3-step practice for how to hold yourself in the first 3 days after any real shift happens in your life. It is a protocol, not a suggestion, because shifts that are not held correctly in their first 72 hours can fail to land. The thing moves, and then you panic, and the panic undoes the moving. The protocol is how you do not panic. It is how you let the shift settle without interfering with the settling. Keep that folder in your head. We will fill it. And now, I want to offer you something that I know is going to be tempting to take as your stopping point. Because, honestly, chosen one, what I have walked you through so far would already be enough. If you close this message right now, and you walked away with only what has been said up to this minute, you would still have been fed. You would still have been seen. You would have the signs. You would have Daniel. You would have the 3 reasons the wilderness took the time it took. You would have the 5 shifts. You would have the 4 moves. You would have a name for a tool that is coming. That is a full meal. That is more than most messages of this kind give a person in a month. And yet, I am telling you, this is only the surface. The thing I came here to give you tonight is deeper than everything I have said so far. The place we are about to go in the next part of this message is the place where the entire picture changes shape, and where the reason you were brought to this specific message at this specific hour becomes obvious. There is a layer underneath Daniel. There is a truth underneath the ceiling that most teachers will never walk a room into. Do not stop at the surface. Do not let the feeling of already having received enough convince you that the deeper layer is not for you. The deeper layer is exactly for you. It is what you came for. It is the reason your day was bent around this moment. Stay in the seat. The most important hour of this message is still ahead of us. And, as a small confirmation to yourself that you are still here, still listening, still letting the work continue inside you, I want to offer you a specific piece of timing that I promised at the beginning, because now you have enough framework to receive it. The reason tonight is the specific hour the gate was permitted to open, is that a specific alignment in your own inner architecture has just completed, and the completion is what the unseen has been waiting on. It was not a calendar date in the sky that said, "On this evening, the secret will be released." It was you. It was the slow, quiet, patient work of character formation and grief processing and wilderness integration that has been happening inside you for years. And it had to reach a specific interior threshold before the seal could crack on the outside. Daniel's scroll was sealed until a specific historical moment. Your scroll was sealed until a specific interior moment. That interior moment is the moment you just crossed, somewhere in the last few weeks of your life, without being told that you were crossing it. You finished the inner work. You did not know you were finished. But the architecture knew. The external opening is following the internal completion, not the other way around. The release on the outside is the mirror of the readiness on the inside. Your life did not get stuck for years and then get freed tonight by an arbitrary calendar roll. Your life got built for years until the building completed, and the opening followed as soon as the building was done. That is the structural reason for the timing. You can stop wondering whether heaven was being slow. Heaven was being exact. But I told you at the very beginning of this message that Daniel's story has a layer most teachers never bring you into, and it is time for that layer. Because there is something about the ceiling that the ordinary telling of Daniel's story does not show you. Something that changes what the ceiling actually was. Something that, when you see it, is going to rewrite every assumption you have been making about why your own waiting had the specific shape that it had. What if the ceiling was not doing what everyone thinks the ceiling was doing? What if the ceiling was not about hiding the secret from the world? What if the ceiling was about something else entirely? Something that no one ever speaks about out loud, and that something is the exact thing that has been happening inside of you for all the years you have been waiting. That is the layer we go into next. Stay with me. The ground is about to shift. Before I take you into that shifting ground, I need to briefly introduce you to one more figure, because the layer we are about to walk into is a two-person door, and Daniel alone is not enough to open it. The second figure I need you to hold in your mind is much older than Daniel. He lived more than 1,000 years before Daniel. His name was Abraham, and I am bringing him in right now because his story and Daniel's story are, at first glance, about completely different things. Daniel received a vision that was too far in the future for him. Abraham received a promise that was supposed to happen inside his own life, but that took so long to happen that he was almost dead by the time it arrived. Two different problems. Daniel had the problem of a secret that was going to be fulfilled after him. Abraham had the problem of a promise that was going to be fulfilled inside him, but only after an unreasonable wait. And the shape of your life, chosen one, contains pieces of both. Part of you is carrying a Daniel assignment, a sealed thing whose full bloom is going to ripple outward past your own lifetime. And part of you is carrying an Abraham assignment, a specific personal promise that has been quietly delayed inside your own life, that you have begun to wonder if you would ever live to see. And that is about to land in your actual hands, not in a future generation's hands. Both are happening. Both are real. Let me tell you, quickly, the Abraham piece, because there is a single detail in his story that most people miss, and that detail is going to matter for what I say next. Abraham was told, by a voice that most of his neighbors could not hear, that he was going to have a son. This was not a small promise. Abraham did not already have the kind of life where sons came easily. He was old. His wife was old. They had tried for decades without a child arriving. And then one day, this voice told him, a son is coming, the specific son, the one who will carry everything forward. Abraham believed. But Abraham was 75 years old when he first heard that promise, and the son did not arrive until Abraham was 100. 25 years. Read that again in your head. 25 years between the hearing and the holding. 25 years of telling your wife that God had spoken. and watching her smile back at you, and then watching her smile get a little tighter each year as the waiting stretched on. 25 years of watching other people's families grow around you while the specific family you had been promised stayed empty. 25 years of trying not to let the hope die, because once the hope dies, the rest of the waiting becomes unbearable. And at one point, somewhere in those years, Abraham and his wife tried to force it. They tried to make the promise happen on their own terms, through a workaround, through a plan B, through a quiet, exhausted compromise that said, maybe this is what God meant. Maybe we can help the promise along by doing something ourselves. It did not work. It complicated their lives. It created pain they did not expect. And the real son, the promised son, still did not come from that workaround. The real son came much later, on the original timeline, not the forced one. Here is the detail I want you to notice. When the son finally arrived, the wait had not damaged the promise. The son came, and he was exactly who the original voice had said he would be. The lateness did not diminish him. The years of wondering did not weaken him. He arrived whole and on purpose, and the waiting was not held against him or against them. The waiting became the story that made his arrival meaningful. So, here is the shape I want you to hold now. As we go into the layer I have been promising you all night. Daniel received a sealed vision, and the sealing was the necessary protection of something that would fulfill after him. Abraham received a personal promise, and the delay was the necessary preparation of something that would fulfill inside him. On its original timeline, both of them involved a waiting that was holy, not wasted. Both of them involved a keeping, not an abandonment. You have the Daniel and you have the Abraham running through your life at the same time. And the reason the last 20, 30, 40 years of your life have felt the way they have felt is because two different kinds of waiting have been overlapping inside of you, and no one has given you the vocabulary to tell them apart. Tonight, you are getting the vocabulary. Now, before I take you into the layer that changes everything, I want to briefly acknowledge one thing out loud, because a small number of you have already started to wonder about it, and, if I do not name it, it will quietly pull at your attention through the rest of this message. Some of you, over the years, have looked for tools, for frameworks, for specific ways to help your inner state catch up with what you sensed was coming. You have tried meditations. You have tried affirmations. You have tried retreats. You have tried silence. Most of it has helped a little, and almost none of it has helped the way you were hoping it would help. I want you to know, because I will come back to this in more depth later in our time together tonight, that a doctor named Robert Lake spent 34 years of his career mapping a specific pattern in the human brain, a pattern he called the decline effect, which explains in concrete terms why so many of the things you tried did not produce the results you were reaching for. And out of that 34 years of research, he created a single, specific tool that addresses the exact mechanism underneath what you have been trying to reach. It is called the Genius Song, and it is a 7-minute audio track. I will walk you through the full picture of what it does, why it works, and why it exists later in this message. I am not going to pitch it to you now. I am only naming it so you know it is on the other side of what we are about to walk through, for those of you who end up feeling drawn to it. If you are the kind of person who wants to peek ahead, the link is in the description and the pinned comment below, but you do not have to. You can simply hold that name in the back of your mind and let me keep teaching. Back to the layer, I promised. I have been telling you all night that the secret has a shape. I have been using the word secret over and over, and you have been letting me use it without asking me to define it. But I want to ask you now, and I want you to let the question really land before I answer it. What is a secret, actually? Most people, if you stop them on the street and ask them what a secret is, will say something like, "A secret is a piece of information that has not been shared, a hidden fact, a truth that is being withheld until the right time to release it." And that is how almost everyone has been interpreting what I have been telling you tonight. They have been assuming, because the word secret was being used, that there is a specific fact about their life being held back in heaven, and that tonight the fact is going to be released, and that they are going to walk away with a new piece of information that they did not have when they walked in. I need to adjust your expectation before we go further, because if you walk into the next 5 minutes looking for a fact, you are going to miss what is actually about to be revealed. The next 5 minutes are not going to hand you a sentence you can paraphrase to a friend tomorrow. The next 5 minutes are going to hand you something that is much bigger than a fact, and much quieter, and much more permanent. Let me ask the question a different way. When Daniel was given his vision, was the vision a fact? Was it a piece of information, or was it something else? When Abraham was told about his son, was the son a fact? Or was the son a life, a whole person, a whole future, an entire chain of human beings that would come after him, that could not be reduced to a single sentence or a single piece of data? When a secret of this size is being carried in the unseen, the secret is not a fact. The secret is a reality, a whole, living reality, a shape, a texture, a being, something that, when it arrives, does not just inform you, it changes the air you breathe. It changes who you are in relation to the world around you. It changes the kind of sentences you would use to describe your own life. So, when I have been telling you all night that there is a secret that has been kept for you, I have not been talking about a piece of information. I have been talking about a whole reality. A reality that has been cooking in the unseen, taking shape slowly, being formed by the sacred strategy and the positioning and the preparation of people and the removal of blockages until it was fully ready to be handed to you whole. And here is where the ground begins to shift. Because if the secret is not a fact, but a whole reality, then the question of what the ceiling was for is a completely different question than everyone assumes. If a fact is being hidden, the ceiling is about hiding. The ceiling is about concealment. The ceiling is the curtain between the fact and the one who is not supposed to see it yet. But if a whole reality is being formed, the ceiling is not about hiding at all. The ceiling is about protecting the formation of the reality until it is whole enough to survive contact. And this is where I need you to really hold your seat, chosen one. Because what I am about to say is the thing this entire message was built around, and I want it to land on you the way it is supposed to land. Everyone has been assuming the ceiling in your life was for the purpose of keeping a secret from you. The whole frame has been, God knows something. God is hiding it. God will reveal it later. You have been locked out in the meantime. That is not what the ceiling was doing. The ceiling was not keeping the secret from you. The ceiling was keeping you safe from the secret, until the secret was finished forming inside the unseen, and until you were finished forming inside the seen. The ceiling was a two-sided protection, and the two sides were in parallel construction. Your inner formation on one side, the secret's outer formation on the other side, both being worked on at the same time, in different rooms, by the same hands, with the seal as the wall between the rooms, so that neither construction would collapse into the other before they were both ready. The ceiling was never a wall between you and something good. The ceiling was a work zone, and the work zone had a wall around it so the workers could work. And the workers were working on both of you. You being reshaped on one side, the reality being assembled on the other side. And the wall between you was there so that each of you could be finished before the meeting. And here is the even deeper layer. And that is not hiding. And that is not delay. And that is not punishment. And that is not God being slow. What that is, chosen one, is calibration. The ceiling was calibrating you. The whole waiting season, the silence, the wilderness, the closed doors, the delays, every part of what has felt like absence in your life was calibration. You were the instrument that had to be tuned before the music could be played through you. The music was being written on the other side of the wall. The tuning was being done on your side of the wall. The wall was the seal, and the seal was going to break only. At the moment, both the music and the instrument were complete. That moment is now. The music is finished. The tuning is finished. The wall is coming down. The bussity and the music is going to begin playing through an instrument that has been tuned across years, with a patience that looked like absence and was actually presence the whole time. You are not a forgotten person who just got lucky. You are a calibrated vessel who just finished being made ready for the reality that was being made ready in parallel with you. Sit with that. And in this moment, because I promised you at the very beginning that there would be 3 specific moments in this message where a different voice would speak through, I am going to pause my own voice, because I hear something being placed on my heart for you right now, and I do not want to filter it. I am going to speak the words the way I hear them, in the first person, because that is the only way they can be spoken correctly. My child, I did not hide it from you. I shaped you to hold it. The years you called abandonment were the years I was building you a hand strong enough to carry what I was preparing. The silence was the sound of my workshop. The wall between us was the wall around my work. You are coming into the room now. The work is finished. Both of them, both of you, come inside. I am back. And I want you to notice what just happened, because something just happened in the last 2 minutes that is worth naming. Your understanding of your own years just flipped. The things you have been carrying as evidence against yourself, as proof that you were overlooked or unworthy or abandoned, just got reinterpreted as evidence of the exact opposite. The length of the weight, which you had been treating as the measure of how much God did not care, just became the measure of how much care was actually being taken with both sides of the construction. That flip is not something you can undo once it has happened. You cannot go back to the old interpretation. Your nervous system will try, for a little while, to reach back for the familiar framing of abandonment, because that framing has been your companion for a long time. And even painful companions are hard to let go of. But the new framing has been installed, and the new framing is more true than the old framing was. The old framing was a story your pain told itself when it did not have better information. The new framing is what the information actually looked like from the other side. Now, there is a word in the original Hebrew scriptures that describes what is happening right now, and I want to give it to you, because the word itself is going to do some work inside you that the English cannot do alone. The word is gala, spelled in the letters we use in English, G-A-L-A-H, pronounced ga-la. Gala is the word that the ancient Hebrew writers used when they described what God was doing when he revealed something that had been kept. And most people, when they translate gala into English, translate it as the word reveal, or the word uncover, or the word open up. But gala does not exactly mean any of those things. Gala has a more specific meaning than those English words. Capture. Gala means to remove the covering from something that was always already there. It does not mean to create something new. It does not mean to bring something into existence that did not exist before. It means to take away the cloth that was sitting on top of something that was already complete underneath the cloth. The secret that is now being given to you, the reality that has been forming in the unseen, was never being invented while you were waiting. It was already whole. What was happening during the entire waiting season was that a cloth was draped over it so that you could not see it, so that you would not reach for it too early, so that you would not try to take it before your hands were ready to hold it. The waiting was not the making. The making was already done before the waiting started. The waiting was only about the cloth. And tonight, the gala is happening. The cloth is being removed, and the thing underneath is not being created for you in this moment. The thing underneath has been ready the entire time. You are not being given something new. You are being shown something that has been yours the whole way. Hear me. What God has been keeping was never kept from you. What God has been keeping was kept for you. What God has been hiding was never information you did not deserve. It was a reality that was yours already, covered, until your hand was strong enough to take the covering off without damaging what was underneath. And the cloth is not being ripped. The cloth is being lifted, slowly, on purpose, at the exact speed that lets you see what has always been there, without the shock of sudden exposure. The gala is a gentle removal, not a violent reveal. Heaven does not tear back cloths. Heaven lifts them at the speed at which the one underneath can bear the light. That is what tonight is. That is what the rest of this message is. The lifting of the cloth from something that was already complete. And because the lifting is now happening in real time, inside the life you are actually living, I need to give you a new name for who you are in this moment, because the old name, the kept one, was who you were when the cloth was still on. The kept one was the version of you who was being held in the work zone until the work was finished. The work is finished. You are not the kept one anymore. You are the threshold walker. The threshold walker is the one who has crossed the line between the work zone and the room. The threshold walker is the one who has completed the waiting and is now standing at the door of the reality, with the cloth coming off the thing on the other side. The threshold walker is not a passive identity. It is an active one. It is the name of the person who has earned the right to walk through, because the years have tuned them enough to walk through without falling. The threshold is a holy place. It is the place between the old world and the new world. Most people spend their lives on one side or the other. Very few spend time standing in the threshold itself, because the threshold is a strange, in-between, vibrating place. But the threshold is where you are right now. You are not in the old. You are not fully in the new. You are in the doorway. And the doorway is not a failure. The doorway is the specific seat of the one whose waiting is over. Walk with that name for a moment. The threshold walker, not forgotten, not abandoned, not lost. the threshold walker, who is standing at the line, who has done the crossing, who is now looking into the room on the other side, which is already full of the reality that has been being prepared while they were being prepared. And the image that has been weaving through this whole message, the image of the dam, now has a new meaning as well. The dam was never broken. I want you to hear that carefully. The dam was never failing. The dam was designed to open at a specific moment, and the moment is this one, and the opening is not an emergency of failure. The opening is the finished work of engineering. The river was being brought to the exact height that the engineer wanted the river at, and not a drop higher, and not a drop lower, before the gate was raised. The gate is being raised now, not because the dam lost, but because the dam won. The river reached the line. The engineer nodded. The gate is rising. You are not standing downstream of a collapsing wall. You are standing in the current of a perfectly timed release. The water around your ankles right now is not floodwater. It is the first wave of a river that has been being collected on your behalf for years. It is cold because it is real. It is moving because it is alive. And it is going to keep rising until you are standing in the full current. You do not need to swim out of the river. You need to stand in it. And if, right now, something inside of you has received this, if the ceiling has just finished rewriting itself in your understanding, and you feel the gala happening as I am speaking, type the words I receive in the comments below. Those 2 words. That is your agreement with what has just been handed to you. That is the part of you that just reached up and took hold of the cloth that was being lifted and said, I will carry what is under this. Now take one slow breath with me. One real one. Because I have just asked you to hold a lot. You have been listening for a long time now, and the last several minutes contained more restructuring than many people do in a whole year of their inner lives. The fact that you are still here, still attending, still letting the work continue in you, is evidence of something I want to name. You have been listening for what is now close to half of the length of this entire message. Most people do not hold attention for that long in any format of their lives anymore. Not for books, not for conversations, not for teachings, not for anyone. The fact that you have stayed through the signs and the reasons, and Daniel, and Abraham, and the cloth, and the threshold walker, is not a casual fact about your evening. It is a fact about who you are. Something inside you has been waiting for this specific message to arrive, and that part of you is not willing to let you leave it. You could not leave it if you tried right now. And that is the correct response. The part of you that knows why you are here is in the driver's seat. Let it keep driving. We are now halfway through our time together, and the second half of this message is not a repeat of the first half in different words. The second half is going to go into territory. The first half was preparing the ground for. In the next part, I am going to take you into the specific obstacle that is going to try to undo what has just been installed in you. Because when a seal breaks, and a cloth is lifted, and a threshold is crossed, there is a particular kind of resistance that shows up inside the one who has crossed it. The resistance is not random. The resistance has a shape. And if I do not name the shape for you tonight, the resistance will do its work quietly over the next weeks of your life, and you will not know what is happening. I am going to name the shape. I am going to walk you through it. I am going to hand you a specific permission that will disarm most of its power. And I am going to tell you the story of someone who waited 11 years for a specific word, and who walked into the end of their waiting in a single week, and what the last 7 days of their wait looked like from the inside. Take one breath. The hardest part of the message is behind us. The most transforming part is still ahead. Take one breath. The hardest part of the message is behind us. The most transforming part is still ahead. Before we go into that transformation, I want to let the ground settle for a minute, because what just happened across the last stretch of this message was not a small thing. You were walked into a reframe of your entire waiting season, and the reframe has more weight than the first half of it is going to let you feel. Some of you are feeling a strange lightness right now. Some of you are feeling a quiet pressure behind your eyes that you cannot fully name. Some of you are feeling both at once. That is correct. That is what it feels like when a long-held story inside you is being replaced by a truer story. And the old story is not letting go without some turbulence, and the new story is not fully installed yet, but is taking hold anyway. Let the turbulence happen. You do not have to manage it. You do not have to explain it to yourself. Just let it move through you, the way weather moves through a sky. You will come out the other side of this part of the message more settled than you came in. So, the question that the last part left us with is the question I want to open now, because it is the question the whole next section is built around. If the ceiling was calibrating you, what is the calibration calibrating you for? Hear that carefully, because most teachings would stop after the reframe and send you off with the glow of the reframe and never answer the obvious follow-up question. But I am not going to send you off without the follow-up. The follow-up is where the real work starts. You are not being tuned just to be tuned. You are not being shaped just to be shaped. You are not being protected just to be protected. All of those are true on their own, but they are not the full picture. The calibration has a purpose that is larger than the calibration itself. A tuned instrument is not the end of the process. A tuned instrument is the beginning of the music. So, what is the music? What is the specific use of a vessel that has been calibrated across years by a waiting season shaped exactly as yours was shaped, in the particular way that your life has been shaped and not in someone else's way? I am going to answer that question in stages because it is too large to answer in one sentence, and if I try to answer it all at once, it will not land. But I want to name the opening of it now. You were not calibrated only to receive. You were calibrated to carry, and to carry in a way that reaches further than your own hands. The instrument that has been tuned inside you over the last however many years of your life is not a private instrument. It is not a home instrument. It is not the kind of instrument that gets played quietly in a back room while you enjoy the sound alone. The instrument that has been tuned inside you was tuned to be heard. It was tuned with a particular resonance that carries. It was tuned with a specific frequency that other people who match that frequency will recognize when they hear it. You are about to become discoverable. Not to everyone. Not to the whole world. To the ones whose lives are tuned to pick up what you have been tuned to carry. They have been walking around with an empty place in them that has the exact shape of what you are going to start emitting, and when you begin to emit, they are going to turn their heads. They are going to find you in ways that surprise both of you, and your job, from this point forward, is not to make that happen. Your job is to stop trying to hide the instrument and let the music begin. That is the opening of the answer to what the calibration was for. I am going to deepen it across the next parts of this message, until by the end you will see exactly who you are becoming and what the discoverability is actually for, and what kind of life that turns your ordinary days into. But before I can take you into that, I have to name the obstacle, because the obstacle is already rising inside of you. And if I do not name it, The obstacle is going to undo the reframe before the reframe can do its work. Let me pause here for just a moment before we name the obstacle, because I want to do one small thing with you. I want you to notice the posture of your body right now. Not change it, just notice it. Notice where the weight of your head is resting. Notice whether your hands are holding something or are loose. Notice whether the muscles around your eyes are tight or settled. Notice whether your shoulders are doing that thing where they try to carry your worries for you, even when your mind has set the worries down. Just notice. And then, without having to fix anything, take one breath that lets the body know we are in a safe part of this message. Nothing is being asked of you in this breath. Nothing is being taken. Nothing is being measured. This breath is only an acknowledgement that you have been working very hard for a very long time, and that a small pause is a gift you are allowed to receive without earning it. Okay, here is the obstacle. Actually, there are two obstacles. They are close cousins. They live in the same room inside you, and both of them are going to try to talk you out of what was just installed in the last part of this message. I am going to name the first one now, and the second one in a moment. The first obstacle is doubt. And I do not mean the ordinary kind of doubt that everyone has about ordinary things. I mean the specific kind of doubt that shows up inside a chosen one in the hours and days right after a breakthrough moment has been handed to them. Let me describe what it sounds like inside your head so you recognize it when it starts. In the next few days, probably within the next 72 hours, you are going to be doing something ordinary. You will be driving somewhere. You will be brushing your teeth. You will be about to fall asleep, and a voice inside you is going to quietly start saying, "Was any of that real? Did I just get caught up in a message that made me feel something, but that does not actually apply to my specific life? Am I the kind of person who is easily moved by language, and I just got moved by language, and the life I wake up to tomorrow is going to be the same as the life I woke up to yesterday?" The voice is going to be polite. It is not going to yell. That is what makes it dangerous. It is going to sound reasonable. It is going to sound protective, even. It is going to sound like it is trying to save you from disappointment. It will say things like, "Let us not get our hopes up." It will say things like, "You have been here before." It will say things like, "Remember when you got excited about that other teaching 3 years ago, and where did that lead?" It will stack the old disappointments next to tonight's reframe and quietly suggest that tonight is just one more on the pile. I want you to know that this voice is coming. I want you to know that this voice is not your enemy, but it is also not your friend. This voice is an old protector. It is the part of you that learned, a long time ago, that hope is expensive, and that the best way to avoid the cost of hope is to quietly dismantle any hope that arrives before it can grow roots and cost you something. That protector has served you. That protector has kept you from heartbreaks you could not afford during specific years of your life. I am not here to fire that protector. The protector is real, and it has earned some rest. But I need you to recognize when it speaks, because the protector is going to try to speak over the reframe inside the next few days. And if you do not recognize its voice, you will mistake its voice for your own wisdom, and you will quietly let it undo what was just handed to you tonight. Here is how you recognize the voice. The voice of the old protector will always push you back toward the version of your life that existed before the reframe. It will always pull for the familiar. It will always frame the new thing as suspicious and the old story as safe. It will always offer you the exit from discomfort that is disguised as common sense. The part of you that was just handed the reframe tonight does not sound like that. The part of you that received the gala does not push you backward. It does not frame the new as suspicious. It holds still, and it does not argue, and it does not work hard to convince you of itself. It simply remains quietly in the center of your chest, waiting for you to come back to it whenever you are ready. When you hear the two voices this week, chosen one, you will know which one to follow. Follow the one that does not argue. Follow the one that does not pull you backward. Follow the stillness. The stillness is the voice of what was just installed. The noise is the voice of the old protector trying to do its job one more time. The second obstacle is more subtle, and it is the one that catches the most chosen ones off guard because it does not feel like an obstacle at first. It feels like wisdom, but it is not wisdom. It is fear wearing the mask of wisdom. The second obstacle is the fear of what happens if the new season actually arrives. You have been waiting for this for so long that you have built a whole life around the waiting, and your waiting identity, whether you realize it or not, has become comfortable in its own way. You know how to be the one who is waiting. You know how to narrate your life as the one who is still on the way. You know how to hold the hope at arm's length so that it does not damage you when it delays again. The fear is not about the new thing arriving. The fear is about who you have to become when the new thing arrives, because the version of you that has been waiting is the version of you that you have been for so long, that you do not quite know who you are without the waiting. Some of you, if you listen closely, will hear this fear whispering something like, "What if the new season demands more of me than I can deliver? What if I rise into the new life and I am not actually ready for it, and I embarrass myself in front of the people who finally see me for what I was always supposed to be? What if the assignment is too heavy? What if I was better suited for the waiting than I am for the having?" I want you to understand, chosen one, that this fear is not a sign that you are weak. This fear is a sign that you are finally close enough to the new season for your nervous system to notice the shape of it. Fear does not visit people who are far from their thresholds. Fear visits people who are standing at their thresholds. The fact that the fear is here is a confirmation that the threshold is real. That fear is not an obstacle in the way it looks. That fear is a readiness indicator. The people who walked into their new seasons and got crushed by them were people who felt no fear going in because they did not yet understand the weight of what they were carrying. The fact that you understand the weight is the exact reason you are not going to get crushed by it. Your fear is the proof of your readiness. You are awake to the scale of what is being handed to you. And awake people do not get broken by weight the way asleep people do. You are not weak. You are awake. And awake is the correct posture for what comes next. And because both of these obstacles, the old protector and the fear of arrival, are going to try to do their work inside you across the next period of your life, I want to hand you something now that will disarm most of their power. I want to hand you a specific kind of permission, because here is what I have noticed after years of working with chosen ones in seasons just like yours. The obstacles cannot do much damage when the person is allowing themselves to become who they are becoming. The obstacles only have teeth when the person is still holding back, still apologizing, still unsure whether they are actually permitted to step into what has arrived. So, I am going to speak a series of permissions over you right now, and I want you to just let them land without agreeing with them. without arguing with them. Just let them sit inside your hearing for a moment and find the places inside you where permission has been missing. You are allowed to believe the good is real. You are allowed to stop bracing for the disappointment that you have been bracing for so long that the bracing has become your resting state. You are allowed to outgrow the version of yourself that survived the wait without feeling guilty about leaving her or him behind. You are allowed to carry what you have been given without explaining it to the people who do not understand it yet, and without apologizing for the fact that you understand something they have not been shown. You are allowed to trust the timing of what is arriving without demanding that the timing prove itself to you one more time. You are allowed to be scared and to move forward at the same time, because courage has never been the absence of fear. Courage has always been the movement that happens while fear is still in the room. And you are allowed to receive what is being handed to you without earning it a second time, because the earning is already done. The years of the wilderness were the earning. You do not have to earn it again by performing gratitude, or by performing worthiness, or by proving to some internal auditor that you deserve what has already been decided is yours. Take it. It is for you. You do not owe anyone an apology for becoming who you were always intended to be. If that last stretch landed on you, if one of those permissions hit a specific locked place inside you, and you felt the lock click open, type the words "permission" received in the comments below. Not for me. For you. The typing is the small physical act of accepting the permission into the part of your life that will remember later that you received it. And before we go into the deepest layer of this whole message, because the deepest layer is coming and it is closer than it feels, I need to tell you one more thing. Because what I am about to show you in the next part of this message requires one more piece of preparation, and this next piece changes the entire mechanism of how the calibration actually works. The next part is going to walk you into a science, an actual measurable science, about what has been happening in your brain during the waiting season. And when I say a science, I mean there is a specific pattern in the human brain that has been studied for decades at real universities by real researchers. And what they have discovered has a direct, physical explanation for why so many chosen ones feel what they feel during the years of the wait. Do not leave, because this next piece is the bridge between the spiritual reality I have been walking you through and the physical reality of your actual nervous system. And when those two bridge together, something locks into place that has not locked into place yet tonight. Before we get there, I want to tell you a specific story, because this story is the proof from someone else's actual life that what I have been telling you about the ending of the wait is real. And I want you to hold this story close, because you are going to see yourself in it. There was a woman a few years ago who had been waiting for something specific for 11 years. I am not going to tell you her name. The specifics of what she was waiting for are not the point. The point is the shape of her wait, because the shape is the same as yours, even if the content is different. She had been told, in a specific moment, that she could still remember with complete clarity that something was coming for her. The moment had happened when she was in her late 20s. She had been sitting alone in a small kitchen in an apartment she no longer lived in, and she had heard, inside her own chest, a specific sentence. The sentence had said, "You are being prepared for something. Hold still. I will tell you when." She had believed it at the time. She had written it down in a journal with the date, which was important later on, because 11 years is a long time to remember a date with accuracy. And then the wait began. The first 3 years were the easy years. She felt certain She carried the sentence in her pocket, metaphorically. She mentioned it, occasionally, to close friends. They were supportive. Everyone assumed the thing was right around the corner. The next 3 years were harder. She had to stop mentioning the sentence. People had begun to look at her with the specific, polite sadness that people use when they think you are still clinging to something that probably is not going to happen. She pulled the sentence back into a private part of her life, and she kept it there, and she did not talk about it anymore. The next 3 years were the hardest. She began to wonder whether she had made the sentence up, whether she had invented it. In her late 20s, during a lonely moment, as a coping mechanism, she went back and read the journal entry. She stared at her own handwriting. She could not deny that she had written it, but she could start to doubt, in the middle of the night, whether the voice she had heard had been real, or whether it had been her own wish projected upward toward a ceiling. She did not give up, but she also did not fully hope anymore. She lived in the in-between space, the space where you are not walking away from something, but you are not walking toward it either. You are just standing with your arms loose, waiting to see which way the wind will blow next. And then, in the middle of the 11th year, the wind blew. I am going to tell you exactly how it happened, because the specifics matter. On a Tuesday morning, she got an email that she had not been expecting from a person she had not spoken to in 4 years. The person asked her a single question, and the question seemed unrelated to her waiting. She answered it honestly in 3 sentences. On Wednesday, the person emailed her back and suggested she meet someone else. She met the someone else on Thursday evening at a small cafe in a part of town she rarely went to. The conversation was warm, but not extraordinary. On Friday, the someone else texted her and said, "I want to introduce you to a colleague of mine. The colleague would want to meet with you tomorrow." On Saturday, she met the colleague. Within 40 minutes of sitting down, the colleague said a specific sentence, out loud, that matched, almost word for word, the sentence she had written in her journal 11 years earlier. The colleague did not know she had written that sentence. The colleague was simply describing what he believed she was being called into, and his description used the same language. She sat there, in a cafe, across from a stranger, and she felt every cell in her body recognize what was happening. By the following Tuesday, 7 days after the first email, her life had a completely new shape, a shape she had been waiting 11 years for. A shape that did not exist on Monday of the previous week, and that now could not be undone. 7 days. After 11 years. And here is the part I want you to really receive, chosen one, because it is the part that will save you in the next period of your life. When she looked back on it, she said she could trace it all the way back to the original sentence in the kitchen. Every single one of the 11 years had been positioning something. Every friendship that had faded, every door that had closed, every small disappointment, every moment where she had almost given up and then just barely held on. All of it had been coordinating the specific configuration of people, places, and timing that allowed the 7 days in her 11th year to unfold the way they unfolded. If any one year had been different, the 7 days would not have been possible. The wait was not wasted. The wait was the architecture of the arrival. And the arrival, when it came quickly, because the slow work had already been done. The arrival was only the visible part of a process that had been working the whole time. You, chosen one, are closer to your 7 days than you realize. The 11 years of your wait, whatever the actual number of your years has been doing the same thing her 11 years were doing. And the arrival, when it comes, will not feel like a long unfolding. It will feel like a sudden sequence of days that pack more shift into them than any other days you have lived. Stay ready, and do not be surprised when the unfolding comes fast, because the slowness was the preparation, and the preparation is finished. And the image I keep coming back to, the image of the dam and the river, has a new shape now as well. Because I told you earlier that the dam was opening on purpose. But I want you to see the next part of the picture, which is that the river is already inside your life. It has already crossed the gate. The water is around your ankles right now, not in some future sense, but in an actual sense, while you are listening to this message. You are not downstream waiting for the river. You are not upstream preparing to meet the river. You are standing in the current right now while I am speaking. The water is rising, and it is going to keep rising steadily over the next months of your life until you are standing fully inside a river that has completely replaced the dry land you used to walk on. You do not have to go find the river. You are in it. You cannot step out of it without stepping out of your own life. The river is your life now. The dryness is behind you. Every sentence of the rest of this message is going to be spoken to someone who is already standing in the current. Let that be the frame through which the rest of tonight lands on you. And because you are standing in the current, you have a new name, a third name, and this name is the one that takes you all the way from the person who was kept to the person who is about to carry what the keeping was for. You are the assigned witness. The assigned witness is the one who has seen what has been installed, and whose seeing is not just for their own benefit. The assigned witness is given a specific sight across years, so that when the new season fully arrives, they become the evidence in their own life of what was possible, not in a performative way, not in a public way, if that is not your shape, but in a real way, a quiet way, a way that other people around you will eventually notice, because your life will begin to have a texture that only people who have walked through what you have walked through can have. You are not being handed this just for you. You are being handed this so that the people around you who are in their own waiting can look at your life in 10 years, or in 20, or in 40, and be able to see with their own eyes that the wait can end, that the ceiling can break, that the cloth does get lifted, that the promised son does actually come, even after 25 years, that the sealed book does get opened at the time of the end, that gala is a real word, and that the covering really does get removed. You are going to be evidence. Your life is going to be evidence. And the evidence is what you were calibrated for. The calibration was not only for the music. The calibration was also for the witness, because the music plays in a specific way through a calibrated vessel that the untuned vessel cannot replicate. People who are looking for proof that the wait is real, and that it ends, and that the ending is worth it, will be able to look at you and have their question answered without you having to say a single word. You are the kept one who became the threshold walker, and who is now the assigned witness. And there is one more name coming at the very end of this message, the fourth name. The name that contains all three of the first names, and that finishes the sentence of who you are becoming. But the fourth name is not for this part. The fourth name is earned by walking through the last part of the message with me. If you stay, you will get it. And now, I have to take you into the last piece of preparation before the deepest layer of this message begins. Because I told you just a few minutes ago that there is a specific science about what has been happening in your brain during the waiting season. A real, physical, measurable pattern, studied for decades at real research universities, that explains the actual mechanism of why calibrated people feel what they feel during the years of their calibration. That science is the bridge. It is the bridge between everything spiritual I have walked you through tonight and the physical reality of your actual body. And when you see how tightly the spiritual and the physical match each other, you are going to understand something about yourself that almost no one ever explains. Stay with me, because in the next part, I am going to show you, with concrete research, why your brain specifically has been feeling the way it has been feeling during the wait, what the decline effect actually is, and how a specific 7-minute audio track was designed around exactly the mechanism I am about to describe. Do not leave before that piece, because the science is going to lock the spiritual into place inside your body in a way the spiritual cannot do on its own. And the locking is the thing that lets the rest of your life carry what has been installed tonight without it fading across the next week. The next part is where the two worlds become one. Stay. The next part is where the two worlds become one. Stay. For the last several hours of this message, I have been walking you through a spiritual story. I have been telling you about the ceiling, about Daniel, about Abraham, about the gala, about the cloth being lifted off of something that was always already there. All of that is true. All of it is real, and none of it is going to be taken back in the next minutes of what I say. But I want to introduce you to a parallel story. A story that is running at the exact same time as the spiritual story, only it is happening inside your actual physical body, specifically inside your brain. And when you see how tightly these two stories match each other, you are going to understand yourself at a level you have never understood yourself before. Here is where we start. There is a specific pattern of brain activity that researchers have been studying for more than 3 decades. The pattern is called gamma. It is a particular frequency that the brain produces when it is operating at its most coherent, most integrated, most alive state. When gamma is active in a brain, the person experiences what the researchers have learned to call the flow state. Ideas come easily. Intuition is sharp. Connections between unrelated things become obvious. Learning happens faster. Problems that seemed locked suddenly unlock. The sense of being fully awake inside your own life returns. Here is what the researchers also discovered. Children, the vast majority of children between the ages of 2 and 7, have very high gamma. That is the reason children learn languages faster than adults. That is the reason children can drop into imagination in a way adults struggle to reach. That is the reason children have the specific quality of aliveness that adults look at and miss quietly from inside the bodies of their grown selves. And something happens starting around the age of 7 that researchers have learned to call the decline effect. The decline effect is the slow, measurable, documented drop in gamma activity inside the human brain that starts in early childhood and continues, for most people, across the entire rest of their lives. Schools contribute to it. Modern light exposure contributes to it. Constant input contributes to it. The specific shape of modern living contributes to it. By the time most people are in their 30s and 40s, their gamma is operating at a small fraction of what it was when they were children. They do not remember this. They just remember that something that used to be there is not there anymore. They remember being young and having a certain sparkle, a certain speed, a certain ease of connection to their own thoughts. And then they remember, slowly, that sparkle getting quieter across the years until they could not quite remember when it left. That is the decline effect, and it has been studied at real universities. Dr. Robert Lake, whom I named briefly earlier, spent 34 years of his career mapping this pattern in specific, repeatable detail. The research has been supported and verified across institutions like MIT, Princeton, and other leading research universities. The existence of the pattern is not in dispute. The only question has been what to do about it. Now, here is the part I want you to really sit with. For chosen ones, the decline effect does not hit gently. It hits harder than it hits most people. And the reason is simple. Chosen ones are born with gamma that is already higher than the average baseline. That is what was happening when you were 5, when you were 6, when you were 7, and you felt and noticed and absorbed the world with a kind of depth that the adults around you did not know what to do with. That depth was not cute. That depth was not your personality. That depth was the measurable, actual, high gamma you were born with, doing what high gamma does. And when the decline effect began to shut that gamma down across the years of your childhood and adolescence and young adulthood, the loss felt larger inside you than it felt inside other people, because there was more to lose. The chosen one, who was born with a gift that was 10, did not drop to an average of 5. The chosen one, who was born with a gift that was 10, dropped to a 3 or a 2, because the dimming was proportional, and the proportion took more, because more was there. This is the physical explanation for the specific kind of grief you have been carrying your whole adult life. The grief that says, I used to be alive. In a way, I am not alive anymore. The grief that says, there was a version of me that was more connected, more intuitive, more alert, more in flow, and that version got quiet, and I do not know how to call her back, or him back, or the child back. You have not been imagining that grief. The grief is tracking something real. Your gamma has been dimmed by the decline effect, and the dimming has been part of what has made the waiting season feel as heavy as it has felt. You were trying to pray and receive and sense and discern through a brain that was operating at a fraction of its original capacity. The signal was always being sent. You have just been receiving it through equipment that had been slowly turned down. And this is where the spiritual story and the physical story meet. Because the gala I was telling you about, the word for removing the covering from something that was always already there, is not just a spiritual event happening in the unseen. The gala has a physical parallel, and the physical parallel is the reactivation of gamma. The dimmed brain that has been walking around for decades below its original setting is a brain that has had a cloth draped across its own gamma. The cloth is not permanent. The cloth can be lifted. And when the cloth is lifted from the physical brain, the spiritual gala that has been happening in the unseen and the physical gala that is happening inside your actual body snap into alignment, and the one reinforces the other. You are not two systems having two experiences. You are one system. And the reason the waiting has felt the way it has felt is that both systems, the spiritual and the physical, have been under the same covering. The release of one reinforces the release of the other. The two galas were always meant to happen together. Before I take you into the last layers of this message, I want to pause and do something important. I want to consolidate, in plain words, what you have actually been taught tonight, because you have been walked through a lot of material, and when a person has been walked through a lot, the mind can begin to feel like it is holding too many pieces at once, and when that happens, the pieces start to slip. So let me lay out plainly what you have been given. I want you to hear it clearly, once, so that the shape of it can settle into the place where things like this live long-term. The why of tonight is this. You have been feeling what you have been feeling during your waiting season, because the waiting was not abandonment, it was formation. It was the slow, patient work of both an inner calibration and an outer assembly, happening in parallel, behind a wall that was keeping both constructions safe until they were finished. That wall is the seal. The seal is coming off now, because both sides are finished. The what of tonight is this. The secret that has been kept is not a single fact that will be whispered into your ear and then be over. The secret is a whole, living reality that has been forming in the unseen, and that is now being uncovered by the slow lifting of a cloth. According to the ancient principle of gala, which means to remove a covering from something that was always already there, and underneath the cloth is a specific shape that matches, with almost impossible precision, the specific calibration your life has been undergoing. The shape and the instrument were being built for each other the entire time. The who of tonight is this. You are not a forgotten person who happened to receive a message. You are a calibrated vessel whose waiting has now completed and whose inner architecture has been quietly tuned across years to carry a specific resonance. That resonance is yours. It is not borrowed. It is not assigned to you by a stranger. It is the sound your life has been built to make. And tonight is the night the muting comes off the instrument. That is the what, the why, and the who. Hold those three together. Let them settle. Let them anchor the rest of what you have already learned. Now, I want to take the next step with you, because the information I gave you about gamma, and about the decline effect, and about how the spiritual covering and the physical covering run in parallel, is not just information for its own sake. It has a practical implication, and I promised you, at the beginning of this message, that I would hand you specific tools, and one of those tools is what I am about to name now. Dr. Lake, after 34 years of research into the decline effect and into the specific ways that gamma can be reactivated, developed a single, focused creation designed to do one thing. It is designed to help the brain that has been dimmed by the decline effect return, gently and measurably, to a state where gamma is actively expressing again. It is called the Genius Song. The Genius Song is a 7-minute audio track. It uses a specific technology called brain entrainment, which is an established scientific principle that allows audio, when delivered through headphones at specific frequencies, to invite the brain back into a particular rhythm of activity. The rhythm the Genius Song is calibrated to invite is the gamma rhythm, the specific one you had as a child. The one the decline effect has been quietly dimming across your life. Before I go further, I want to acknowledge something that I know is rising in some of you right now, because I have been in conversations with chosen ones for a long time, and I can almost always feel the specific thought that lands on a certain kind of person in this exact moment. Some of you are thinking, I have tried so many things. I have tried meditations. I have tried apps. I have tried retreats. I have tried sound baths. I have tried breathwork. I have tried coaches. Most of them helped a little. Some of them did not help at all. And the disappointment of having tried so much has made me a little tired when someone else tells me they have something I should try. I hear that. I honor that. And I want to tell you plainly, without trying to convince you of anything, what makes this different in a structural sense. So, you can decide for yourself whether it applies to your specific situation. The reason most of the tools you have tried did not fully deliver what you were reaching for is not because they were bad tools. It is because they were asking your brain to change itself from the inside, while the brain was still operating under the dimming of the decline effect. You were trying to climb up, with willpower, through the weight of a covering that was still in place. Some of you got a little way up, some of you slipped back. All of you were working against a mechanism that was never named for you. Brain entrainment works on a different principle. It does not ask the brain to fix itself from the inside while still operating inside the dimming. Brain entrainment works from the outside in. It gives the brain a specific external rhythm to follow, and the brain, which naturally follows rhythms, begins to match the rhythm that is being offered to it. Within the 7 minutes of the track, the brain is invited back into a gamma expression that it has not been able to hold on its own for years. And because of a principle in neuroscience known as neural pathway strengthening, every time the brain is invited back into gamma, the pathway for gamma is strengthened, and the strengthening is retained. That is the structural difference. And that is why the earlier tools reached a certain ceiling and no further. The ceiling was the covering, and the covering was not being lifted by willpower alone. Let me tell you, briefly, about a woman who sent a message a little while back. I am going to call her the manager because that is what she was, a manager at a financial firm, in her late 40s. She had heard about the Genius song through a completely unrelated channel, and she bought it on an impulse that she later described as, "I had nothing to lose." For the first 18 days, she felt almost nothing. She used the track. She put on her headphones. She sat still for 7 minutes, day after day. And she did not feel any of the dramatic things she had been hoping to feel. She was honest about that in her message. She said, "I was almost done. I almost sent the refund request on day 20. She did not. She decided to keep going, not because she believed, but because she was curious. On day 34 of her daily use, she realized she had just made a significant work decision the week before, without the normal loop of second-guessing that she usually ran. She realized she had been sleeping deeper than she had slept in years. She realized she had stopped feeling stuck, in a way. She had been feeling stuck for so long that the stuckness had become the background of her life. No single moment of breakthrough. No dramatic revelation. Just a slow, quiet, cumulative return of something that had been missing. That is what gamma reactivation often looks like. It is not fireworks. It is the lights in the hallway coming back up one by one until you realize one morning that the house has been lit again. And the lighting is steady. It does not go away. It is the baseline now, not a peak. The price is $39. And I want to say this directly to you, chosen one, because I never want to take your financial situation for granted. $39, for some of you, is not a small number. For some of you, it is a real decision, and I would never disrespect that by pretending it is not. But let me walk you through the comparison, because I think it is worth hearing. A meditation app, the kind most people are subscribing to right now, costs around $15 a month, which is about $180 a year. A single session with a good therapist costs around $150. A weekend spiritual retreat is typically $400 to $800. A single session with a biofeedback clinic is around $300, and clinics usually recommend many sessions across several months. None of those, as far as I have been able to find, are calibrated specifically to the gamma frequency that is at the center of what you and I have been talking about tonight. The original price of the Genius song was $49. The current price, for anyone coming through this message, is $39. It is a one-time purchase. There is no subscription. There is no monthly renewal. You pay $39 one time, and the track is yours. It is delivered digitally. It is in your email within a few minutes. There is nothing to ship, and there are no shipping fees. When you purchase it, you also receive 4 bonuses, which are given to you at no additional cost, and which you keep even if you choose to return the main product later. The first bonus is a separate audio track called Genius Child, which is calibrated for the brains of young children and which sells separately for $19. The second is a classic book that was the original source material for a much more famous modern book, which sells on Amazon for about $20. The third is a guided visualization that walks you through 22 minutes across 4 different areas of life, which sells separately for $29. The fourth is an infographic of the 5 daily habits of people who have successfully kept their gamma reactivated long-term, which sells for $12. All 4 together add up to $80 of additional value, free, included with a $39 one-time purchase. And here is the guarantee. You have 90 full days to try it. If, at any point during those 90 days, for any reason at all, you decide that it is not for you, you request a refund and you receive the full $39 back. You keep the bonuses. You keep the $80 of additional material. That is not a marketing phrase. That is the actual structure. The guarantee is a kind of quiet apology from Dr. Lake for the time it takes a person to evaluate whether a tool is actually working in their own life. To give you a sense of how that guarantee has played out in practice, 18,366 people have used the Genius song so far. Fewer than 4% have requested a refund inside the 90-day window. That means more than 96% of the people who have tried it have kept it. That is not a small number. That is the kind of retention that happens with tools that are actually doing what they claim to do. Let me offer you a small moment here before you do anything else. Take one slow breath with me, not to decide whether you are going to buy something, just a breath that lets your own internal sense of things come to the front of the room. And inside that breath, I want you to notice that the decision about a tool like this for a chosen one in a moment like yours is not really a decision about $39. It is a decision about whether you believe the calibration that has been happening inside you is complete, and whether you want to give the physical side of your instrument the specific reactivation that matches what the spiritual side has already been prepared for. That is, the actual decision. The price is the price. The real question is underneath it. If, inside yourself, you feel a quiet yes, then the link is in the description of this video and in the pinned comment below. Follow the link only if you feel led. No one is pushing you. If your answer is not yet, that is also fine. Nothing you have received tonight depends on it. The message is yours either way. One more thing, chosen one, and I am going to say it once, because I do not want you to get hurt later by not knowing it. There are counterfeit versions of the Genius song being sold in places around the internet, on marketplaces like Amazon and on streaming platforms that use the name but do not contain the actual brain entrainment technology. They are ordinary audio tracks with calming sounds, packaged to look similar. The only place you can get the real version, with the full technology, the 4 bonuses, and the 90-day guarantee, is through the link in the description and the pinned comment. I am naming this so that, if you do follow the link, you land in the right place, and you are not quietly redirected somewhere else. And the last thing I want to say about this, before I take you back into the deeper layer of this message, is that Dr. Lake did not spend 34 years mapping only one thing. The Genius Song is one piece of a larger system that he has built across his whole career, designed as a sequence of restoration protocols for different phases of a chosen one's journey. Today, I am only showing you the first piece. That is intentional. The first piece is the one that opens the door. The pieces that come after are revealed only to people who have walked through the first door, because the later phases require that gamma has first stabilized in order for the rest of the work to be applied correctly. For now, the only piece I want you to know about is this one. The rest will show itself when the time is right. Before I take you into the last layers of the message, let me do one more small thing with you, because you have just been asked to consider something, and consideration deserves a moment. If you noticed a few minutes ago that the science side of what I have been teaching you locked into place inside your body in a way that felt different from the spiritual side alone, type the words, "I am being calibrated," in the comments below. Those 4 words. That is, your acknowledgement that the 2 worlds have met inside you and are now reinforcing each other. Now, back to the deeper thing. And I promised at the very start of this message that before we closed, I would speak a specific word over your life in a sacred closing that I believed would stay with you long after you left this space. That sacred closing is close now. We are within the last stretch. What I want you to know, before I say the very last thing, is that I would not ask you to stay through the next pieces if they were not the reason you were brought here in the first place. The first half of the message was preparation. The middle was the turning. The last pieces are where your specific name is going to be spoken into a shape that has been waiting to contain it. Stay. Here is the practical tool I promised you at the start. I named it earlier and said I would hand you the full protocol later in our time together. This is later. The name of the practice is the 72-hour stillness protocol, and it is designed for the first 3 days after any real shift happens inside of you. Tonight counts as a real shift. That means this protocol is for the 72 hours that begin when you finish listening to this message. The purpose of the protocol is simple. When a shift happens inside you, the first 72 hours are a window in which the shift is settling into place. It is a vulnerable window. It is the window in which old habits, old voices, old pressures, and old people in your life will, without meaning to, try to pull you back into the shape you were in before the shift happened. If the shift is not protected during those 72 hours, it will not fail, it will not disappear, but it will settle with less weight than it could have settled with. It will take longer to fully integrate. You will be working against a slow drift for weeks. The protocol is how you protect the settling. It has 3 steps. Each step takes about 30 minutes. You do 1 step per morning for 3 mornings in a row. That is all. The first step is for the first morning. When you wake up, before you check your phone, before you begin your day, before you even speak out loud, you sit still for 30 minutes in the most private place you have access to. If you are in a home with other people, you sit in the bathroom with the door locked, if that is what it takes. If you are in a car, you sit in your car before walking into work. If you are in a bed, you stay in the bed and do not get up. During those 30 minutes, you do nothing. You do not pray. You do not plan. You do not think about the message you listen to. You do not try to remember what you were taught. You simply sit, and you let your body register that a shift has happened without your mind trying to name the shift yet. The second step is for the second morning. Same setup. 30 minutes of stillness in your chosen private place. But this time, at the end of the 30 minutes, you write a single sentence. Not a paragraph, not a journal entry. One sentence. And the sentence is the answer to this specific question, which you will hold in the back of your mind during the stillness. What, if anything, has shifted since yesterday? You will not force an answer. If nothing shifted, you write, nothing shifted. If something small shifted, you write the small thing. If something large shifted, you write that. One sentence. No editing, no explaining. The third step is for the third morning. Same 30 minutes of stillness. Same private place. At the end, you write one more sentence, answering the same question. And then, and this is the important part, you read the two sentences from the previous 2 mornings, and you read the new sentence, and you speak out loud, a single sentence that captures what all 3 sentences together are saying. That final sentence is what I am calling your identity line. It is the name, in plain words, of what the shift installed in you. Write that identity line somewhere. You will see it again. Inside your phone, on a small piece of paper, in your wallet, on a note, taped to the back of something you look at every day. For the next 40 days, you return to that line whenever you feel yourself drifting back toward the old shape. The line is a small tether. It is what keeps the shift from slipping. That is the 72-hour stillness protocol. Do it. Do not skip it. Do not compress it into one morning. The 3 mornings are the point. The sequence is the architecture. If you do this, what you receive tonight will remain with you, in your bones, across the next chapter of your life, with more weight than it would have otherwise. And before we begin the final arc of this message, I want you to know one thing in advance, because the last stretch is where the deepest revelation lands, and I want you to be ready for it. What I am about to show you in the next part is the thing this whole message was built around. The secret I have been pointing to, layer by layer, is going to be named directly, with no more covering left on it. And the shape of the secret is going to surprise some of you. Not because it is strange, but because it is simpler and closer and more already yours than you have been letting yourself expect. And after the secret is named, I am going to speak over you personally, a specific word that I believe has been placed on me for you by heaven. That word will not be a generic blessing. It will be a specific commissioning with your name pressed into it, and it will be the seal of everything you have walked through tonight. Stay with me. What comes next is the reason every other part of this message existed. And the dam has one last thing to show you. The river you are standing in has been steadily rising while I have been teaching you the protocol. You did not have to think about it. You did not have to watch the water. The rising has simply been happening, quietly, while your attention was somewhere else. That is the quality of this river. It does not demand attention in order to rise. It rises on its own schedule, because the gate is open, and what is behind the gate is bigger than what your attention can measure. You are no longer standing in the first wave. You are standing in the full current now. Every word of the last part of this message is being spoken to someone who is fully inside the new season. You have crossed into it while we have been talking. That is how the crossing actually happens. Not through a ceremony, not through a single moment of decision, through a slow, accumulating rise during an ordinary hour, while someone speaks the truth over your life and the water quietly does the rest. You are in it. Let the final part begin. You are in it. Let the final part begin. I have walked you across this entire message, around the edge of a secret. I have named the shape of its container. I have shown you the ceiling and the gala. I have shown you the calibration of the vessel that was prepared to hold it. I have shown you the physical mechanism inside your brain that has been running in parallel with the spiritual mechanism. I have handed you a tool, and I have handed you a protocol, but I have not yet told you what the secret actually is. I have been circling it on purpose, because a secret of this size cannot be spoken into an unprepared room. It will collapse inside a person who has not been walked up to it slowly. You are now prepared. The room inside you has been readied, and the secret can now be named in your hearing without damaging what is going to carry it. Here is the secret, and I want you to breathe once before I say it, because the words themselves are small, and you could miss the weight of them if your breathing is moving too fast. The secret God has been keeping from you, chosen one, is not an event. It is not a date on a calendar. It is not a promotion. It is not a person walking through a door. It is not a check in the mail. It is not a moment when the world around you finally sees what you have been carrying and recognizes it out loud. Those things may come. Many of them are going to come. But those things are not the secret. The secret is an identity. The secret is who you have always been, underneath the covering. The secret is the specific name that heaven has been holding on your behalf for longer than you have been alive. The secret is the full shape of the person you were made to be, which has been quietly, patiently, slowly forming underneath the cloth, while every covering on the outside has been protecting it from being reached for too early. It's gonna happen is not the arrival of something new into your life. It's gonna happen is the becoming accessible inside your own life of who you have always actually been. You do not have to go get it. You do not have to chase it down. You do not have to manufacture it. It is not outside of you. It has been inside you the whole time. The whole wait was not to make it arrive. The whole wait was to calibrate you for the arrival of access to what was always already within. Stay in that for a moment, because if you let it land, it undoes a very old assumption about how your life has been built. You have been assuming quietly for a long time that the problem of your life was that you did not yet have the thing that would make you whole. That if certain external events finally arrived, certain people, certain roles, certain doors opening, certain amounts of money, certain recognition from certain sources, you would finally become the version of yourself that you were meant to be. You have been waiting for externals to give you access to your own identity. That assumption is being overturned right now in the last chapter of this message, because the assumption has never been true. Your identity was never out there. Your identity has always been here, under the cloth, waiting to be uncovered, not earned, not delivered, uncovered. The events, when they come, will be the expression of an identity that is already active. They will not be the cause of the identity. They will be its evidence. The order of operations in your life has been reversed inside your own mind for a long time, and tonight it is being restored to the correct order. Identity first, events second. Who you are first. What happens to you after. And I want you to hear one thing being spoken now, in a voice that is not my own voice, because the third and final moment of the direct speaking has arrived, and I can feel it pressing forward to be said. I have carried this for you, across every year that you called empty. The carrying was not a chore. The carrying was a delight. I have held the name close the whole time, because the name is precious to me, and I wanted it handed to you in a way that would not break it. You were never without it. It was not missing. It was being kept warm. Now, I am placing it into your hands. Carry it for me, the way I carried it for you. I am back. And I want to give you the name now. The name the keeping was for. You are the long-awaited, not the one who has been waiting. The one who has been waited for. The waiting has run in both directions. Chosen one. You have been waiting for something, but something has also been waiting for you. A specific work that could only be done through a specific life that had been shaped by specific years of specific formation. That work has been waiting for you to become available to it. It has been waiting for your character. It has been waiting for your specific kind of hands. It has been waiting for the exact depth that the wilderness dug inside you, which only your wilderness could have dug. And the day that the thing that has been waiting for you finally recognizes that you are ready is the day the thing walks into your life, and the walking is fast, because the wait on both sides was long. You are the long-awaited. You are the one that a specific configuration of other people's lives has been waiting to meet. You are the one whose gifts, reactivated, will answer questions that other people have been quietly asking for years. You are the one whose presence in certain rooms, in certain seasons, in certain conversations, will shift the shape of those rooms in ways that the rooms have been waiting for without knowing what they were waiting for. The waiting ran in both directions, and both ends of the waiting have completed at the same moment. That moment is this one. The dam now and the river are not separate from you anymore. The dam was not out there in some other place. The dam was over the expression of your own identity. The river was not external water. The river was the flow of who you were built to be, which has been collected, drop by drop, across every year of your wait, until the height of it reached the threshold. The gate has lifted. The river is now flowing through you, outward into the world, in the shape of your ordinary life, becoming a vehicle for what was always inside it. You are not standing beside the river anymore. You are the channel. The current is moving through you, out into the days of your life. And every small action you take from tonight forward is carrying some of the current with it. You do not have to perform. You do not have to strain. You simply have to let what has been uncovered continue to move outward, through your ordinary days, into the lives of the people and the places that have been waiting for what you carry. And there is one more practice I want to hand you, because now that your identity has been uncovered, you are going to need a specific discipline to notice the confirmations that are going to begin arriving daily in the ordinary fabric of your life. The practice is called the witness practice, and it is simple. It takes 5 minutes a day, and it is designed for the first 40 days of your new season, starting tomorrow morning. Here is how it works. Once a day, at a time that is private for you. You sit still for 5 minutes, with no agenda. You do not try to meditate. You do not try to pray in a formal way. You do not try to make anything happen. You simply sit. Then, at the end of the 5 minutes, you do one thing. You notice one specific thing that happened in the previous 24 hours of your life that you did not ask for, that you did not manufacture, that arrived on its own, and that matched, in some small way, the direction your life is now moving. It can be a small coincidence. It can be a sentence someone said to you. It can be a door that quietly opened. It can be a feeling that showed up unannounced. And you name it, inside yourself, with one specific word at the end. The word is confirmation. Just that. You notice the thing. You name it as confirmation. You move on with your day. Do this for 40 days in a row. Not 40 out of 50, 40 in a row. Starting tomorrow. At the end of the 40 days, you will have a list of 40 confirmations. And when you read the list back, you will see, with your own eyes, a pattern. 80% of the confirmations will line up with each other in a direction. The direction will be the shape of what your new identity is doing in the world, which you have not had the training to see before, and which the witness practice is going to install. The practice is small. The effect is not small. It is the difference between a chosen one who walks into their new season blind to the confirmations that are moving around them, and a chosen one whose eyes have been trained to see, in real time, what heaven is doing on their behalf. You want to be the second kind. This is how you become it. And I want to name, in plain words, what has happened inside of you across the time we have spent together tonight, because naming it out loud is going to help it stay. You went in waiting, and you are coming out being. You went in interpreting the silence as absence, and you are coming out understanding the silence as workshop. You went in carrying a story that the years had been wasted, and you are coming out with the knowledge that every year was positioning. You went in looking outside yourself for the thing that would make you whole, and you are coming out with the uncovering of what was always inside you. You went in as the kept one, and you are coming out as the long-awaited, with the threshold walker and the assigned witness walking with you as the 3 steps of the journey from one to the other. That is the before and the after of tonight. Say them slowly to yourself, in the private space of your own mind, if you can, because each of those sentences is a small door, and each door locks a piece of tonight into place. Before we go into the sacred closing, let me do one more small thing with you. I want to acknowledge, out loud, what you have done tonight, because you have done something specific, and I do not want it to go unnamed. You sat still for hours. In a world that is constantly trying to pull your attention into 1,000 smaller places, you sat still with one voice for hours, and you let a long, slow message do its work inside you without interrupting it. That is an ability that very few people have anymore. And the fact that you had it tonight is not a small thing. It is evidence of the instrument that has been tuned in you. The instrument that is now being played. You are not the same person who pressed play at the beginning. Something has been installed. Something has been uncovered. Something has been named. The reframe has gone into the part of you that will remember later. You will be walking around tomorrow, and the day after, and a week from now, and you will suddenly notice that a specific way you used to think about a specific part of your life does not fit anymore. That will be tonight, still doing its work, in the background of your ordinary days. One slow breath with me before we continue. Not to receive anything, not to release anything, just to mark quietly that you have walked here and that you have walked it well. Okay, now we go into the final movement, the last piece of what I have been preparing you for. Before we enter the sacred closing, I want to walk you through a single, guided mental picture. It is going to take about 1.5 minutes of your time. You do not need to stand up. You do not need to move anywhere. You do not need to close your eyes if you are driving, and for everyone else, whether you close your eyes or not is your choice. Just keep your attention inside the picture I am going to paint. Picture yourself right now in the place you are in, not in some other place, the actual room or the actual seat where your body is sitting while you listen to my voice. Now picture, in front of you, at about chest height, a scroll. The scroll is floating gently in the air, about 2 feet in front of you. It is held together by a single ribbon of light that wraps around it. Your name is written on the outside of the scroll, not a nickname, not the name you use on paperwork, your real name, the one that heaven uses when heaven is speaking about you. Maybe you recognize the shape of the letters, maybe you do not. That is fine. Now picture yourself reaching out with both hands and taking the scroll from the air. Feel it in your hands. It has weight. It is heavier than paper. It has been holding something for a long time. The ribbon of light, as soon as your hands take hold of the scroll, begins to loosen on its own. You are not untying it. It is unsealing itself, because the seal only stayed closed until the scroll was in the right hands, and your hands are the right hands. The ribbon falls away. The scroll opens in your palms. Now, read the first line, not with your eyes, atra, with the part of you that has been listening to this message all night. Read it with the part of you that already knows. The first line is not a prediction of what will happen to you. The first line is not a description of an event. The first line is a name, a single, specific name for who you are. Let the name rise to the surface. Do not force it. Do not try to invent it. Let it come. Whatever word or short phrase just came into you, hold it. That is your identity line. That is the specific shape of what the whole message has been uncovering in you. Say it in the quiet of your own mind 3 times, slowly, so that the part of you that stores long-term things has time to register it. Good. Let the scroll settle back into your hands. It is yours now. It does not go back up into the air. It stays with you. It is the kind of thing you carry in an inner pocket, the inner pocket that does not exist in your jacket, but exists inside your chest, where things of this weight live. Take one slow breath and let the scene settle around you. You are back in the actual room. You have an identity line that you did not have when you started this part. That is not imagination. That is installation. And because what was just installed is real, and because the old protector that I warned you about earlier is going to try, within the next 72 hours, to tell you it was not real, I want to give you a small piece of preparation for when that voice arrives. When the old protector speaks to you in the next few days and says something like, "Was any of that actually real?" I want you to do one thing. You do not argue with it. You do not try to convince it. You simply return to the identity line. You speak it, in your own mind or out loud, once. That is all. The speaking of the line, even once, is louder than the whisper of the old protector, because the line is what you actually are now, and the whisper is only what you used to be before tonight. The line wins. every time, without effort. You just have to remember to speak it. If what I have walked you through in this part, the secret being an identity, the uncovering of the long-awaited, the scroll being placed in your hands, if any of that landed with real weight on you, I want you to type the words, "I release the weight," in the comments below, those 4 words. Because the identity cannot fully inhabit you while you are still bracing for the old waiting to continue. The releasing of the weight is the opening of the room. Let the weight go. Type the 4 words as the small physical acknowledgement that the bracing has ended, because the waiting has ended, because what you were waiting for was not outside of you, and the inside of you is already unfolded. Now, I want you to know, before we enter the sacred closing, that we have reached the last 5 or 10 minutes of our time together tonight. I promised you, at the start of this message, that the final sentence would be where the sealing completes. That sentence is close now, and before I speak it, I want to walk you into the closing ceremony, slowly, with full attention, because the closing is not a formality. It is a specific sacred act with its own weight, and it is the seal on everything that has been placed inside of you across the last hours. Every promise I made at the beginning has now been kept. I told you I would walk you into the secret layer by layer. I have. I told you I would explain the exact reason for the timing. I have. I told you I would hand you practical tools. I have handed you 2, the 72-hour stillness protocol and the witness practice, and you now carry both. And I told you that, at the very end, I would speak something specific over your life that I believed would stay with you long after this message ended. That is the part we are about to enter now. Breathe once. Settle your body into the seat, or the bed, or the car, or wherever your listening is happening. Let the muscles in your face soften. Let the weight of the day, of the week, of the year, slide off your shoulders and into the floor beneath you. This is the part where you receive. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to earn. You have arrived. This is the part where you receive. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to earn. You have arrived. Let me sit with you in this for a moment, before any formal words begin, because the space we are in right now is the space I have been bringing you toward since the first sentence of this entire message. I want to acknowledge, out loud, what is actually present in the room with you right now, because a great many things have happened inside you tonight, and I do not want a single one of them to go unnamed as we begin to close. You have walked through the reframe of your own waiting. You have sat with Daniel and with Abraham. You have let a word in ancient Hebrew, gala, rearrange the meaning of years of your life. You have received 3 identities, one after another, each built on the one before. You have been handed a scroll that you are now carrying in the inner pocket of your chest. You have received an identity line that you did not have 2 hours ago, and you have released, at least once, the specific bracing that has kept a door half closed inside of you for longer than you can remember. That is a night. That is a real, completed, unrepeatable night of work inside a human life. And the work is not something I did to you. The work is something you let happen through you, by staying in the seat, by keeping the attention steady, by not letting the smaller pulls of your ordinary evening win against what your deeper self knew was happening. You did this. I only pointed at it. The receiving was yours. Now let me open the formal closing. I am going to speak certain words across the next few minutes, and the words are going to be slower and quieter and carrying more weight per sentence than the rest of the message has been. Let them fall on you, the way rain falls on ground that has been dry for a long time. You do not have to do anything with the rain. You just have to let it land. So, here we go. The one who has been with you across every year that you counted as empty sees every hour of the carrying. The Father sees you now, not through the eyes of distance, not from some far-away throne, but from the close, warm, present attention of the one who has been in the work zone alongside you the entire time. He sees the night you did not think you would make it through, and the morning you got up anyway. He sees the prayer you stopped speaking out loud because the words started feeling hollow in your own mouth. And he knows that the prayer never stopped being heard, even when it stopped being spoken. He sees the moments you almost walked away from the hope, and the quieter moments you turned back toward it without telling anyone. He sees the specific years you carried this alone, because the people around you could not hold what you were holding, and the carrying made you strong in ways that no one congratulated you for. He sees it. He has always seen it, and the seeing has not been silent, even when it looked silent. The seeing has been a steady, present attention that was covering you from things you did not know you needed covering from. You have been seen the whole time. The seeing was the keeping, and the keeping is what carried you to this room. Now, I want to call forth into the space around your life the specific connections that have been waiting for you. The people who have been prepared in parallel with your preparation, whose hearts have been softened in the exact places they needed to be softened, whose schedules have been quietly cleared of what needed to be cleared, so that when you cross paths with them, in rooms you did not engineer, the meeting is clean. I call them into your life. I call them out of the hiddenness they have been in. I call them into visibility at the correct time, at the correct places, through the correct doors, not early, not late, on the timing of what has already been arranged. And I call your own seeing to be sharp enough to recognize them when they arrive, because you have been trained across the waiting in the specific kind of recognition that does not miss the ones who are meant for you. I call forth the doors that are ready to open, the doors that have been closed, not because they were locked against you, but because the opening of them was scheduled for a season that is now beginning. I call them into their opening, one at a time, at the speed that your spirit can walk through them without stumbling. I call the wise opening, the one that does not knock you over with its arrival, the one that lets you step through each door as a person whose steadiness is already in place before the new room is entered. I call forth the provision that has been gathering on the other side of your specific scarcity, not the provision of a moment, the provision of a new baseline. The kind of provision that changes how your nervous system holds, the idea of money and of time and of rest and of enough. I call it in. I call it settled. And now, because the opening is real, and because the opening creates space, and because space is the thing that certain specific interferences will try to fill, I want to speak protection over you right now. I cover tonight and the installation of tonight from the voices of the old protector inside you that will try, gently, across the next days, to convince you that what was installed was not real. I cover the identity line from the soft erosion of ordinary life. I cover the scroll from the voices that would treat it as imagination. I cover the new season from the slow tide of old habits that will try to pull you back into rooms that no longer fit you. I cover the relational rearrangement from the specific pain of people leaving so that the leavings can be clean and not injurious. I cover the timing from the impatience that would try to rush it, and I cover the timing from the doubt that would try to delay it. I cover the fourth identity, the long-awaited, from every voice that would tell you that you are not actually her, or him, or the one this applies to. You are covered. The installation is sealed. The work is held. And now, chosen one, the weight of the whole message gathers into this next moment, because this is the declaration. This is the single peak of all of it. I am going to speak over you with the full force of every word that has been spoken tonight, behind it, who you are, not as performance, not as hype, as commissioning, as the simple, firm, grounded naming of what has been uncovered. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. And I want you to hear one final thing being said, not by me, but through me, because the third and last moment of the direct voice is arriving to close what was opened in the beginning. My child, the waiting is complete. The ceiling has been broken. The name has been placed in your hands, and you now know it. Carry it with the weight that the years have built into you. You are not alone on the road. You never were. You are the long-awaited. Go. I am back. And now, for a moment, I want to ask something of you that is unusual. Do not say amen yet. Do not close this message yet. Do not move. Just sit in this exact posture, in this exact room, for 60 seconds of silence with me, while the installation does the last of its settling into the part of you that will carry it forward. 60 seconds. No words, no noise, just the frequency of what has just been spoken, sinking into every layer of you that needs to receive it. I am going to be silent now. Let the settling happen. Breathe. And now, the final words of the closing can be spoken. It is sealed, and it is done. Take one slow breath before we continue into the very last moments of our time together, because there are still a few things I want to hand you before you go, and I do not want any of them to be missed. You have not walked this alone tonight. I want you to really feel that for the last time before we close. Right now, across every continent of this world, in quiet kitchens, in late cars, in bedrooms where only a single lamp is on, other chosen ones are walking through this exact same uncovering. Not the same content, the same shape, the same shift, the same release of a ceiling that was never against them. They are receiving, tonight, what you are receiving. You are not a single person listening to a single voice. You are one of a larger group of people who are all, at this hour, crossing the same threshold in their own lives. The threshold is shared. The crossing is shared. The current you are standing in is the same current that is rising in rooms all over the world, in the quiet lives of other people who have been carrying their own sealed scrolls for their own long years. You are not alone. You have never been alone, and the knowing of that is part of the final installation. I want to give your own voice one more chance to speak tonight, because across the last hours, most of the speaking has been mine, and some of it has been through me, and very little of it has been directly yours. But the closing of a ceremony is not complete until the one being spoken over has said something back. So, chosen one, if the message landed on you the way it was meant to land, if something specific has been installed inside you that you did not have when this began, type the words Ah, I am the long-awaited. In the comments below, say them with the weight of every year that brought you to the saying. Say them not as performance. Say them as recognition. Say them the way a person finally says a name out loud that they have been practicing inside their own mouth for a long time, quietly, without anyone knowing. I am the long-awaited. Those 4 words are the final outward declaration of what has been placed inside you tonight. Type them. Speak them, if you can. Let the saying be the last external act of the closing. And then, if this message brought clarity into what was confused, if it brought peace into what was chaos, if it brought confirmation to something you had been feeling for years but could not name, let your like be your amen without words. Gently, without theater, press the like button below and let it be a small, wordless agreement between you and the message you just received. That is all a like is in a moment like this. A small, wordless, physical act that marks, quietly, that you were here and that you received. And the tool I mentioned earlier, the one Dr. Lake built across his 34 years of work, the genius song, if what I said about it is still sitting in your spirit right now. The link is in the description and the pinned comment below. Follow the link only if you feel led. There is no pressure, there is no timer. What you receive tonight is complete on its own. The tool is there for those whose physical side is ready to be invited back into the same frequency that the spiritual side has already stepped into. Only you know whether that is where you are. Trust the knowing. And one last thing before we close, because I promised you, somewhere in the middle of this message, that when the new season began arriving, you would not be the only one receiving it. Other people in your life, people you already know, are standing on the edge of their own version of what you have walked through tonight, and they do not have a voice showing them the way yet. I want you to think right now about someone who has come into your mind during the last hours of this message, not someone you are forcing yourself to think of. Someone who has drifted into your awareness while you have been listening, maybe more than once, and you have not quite known why. Someone who has been waiting a long time and stopped talking about it. Someone who used to be brighter and who has grown quieter and who you sense is carrying something they are not allowing themselves to hope for anymore. Someone who has noticed the numbers and the dreams and the strange coincidences in their own life and has no one to tell. Someone who looks fine from the outside, but you can feel, in the specific way that only people who know them can feel, that something deeper has been silently moving in them for a while. You know the person I am describing. A name just came to you, maybe more than one. Send this message to them. Text it, email it, share it in whatever way you normally send. The things that matter to the people who matter. Do not explain it. Do not caption it. Just send it. And let the message do its own work inside their life, the way it has done its own work inside yours. Because this may be the specific confirmation that they have been quietly asking for, in prayers they have stopped saying out loud. This may be the message that lets them know that the waiting they have been carrying is not punishment, and is not failure, and is not being forgotten. This may be the hour that their ceiling begins to lift. You are not sending them a favor. You are delivering them a word. The sending is the last act of the assigned witness. And do it, while their name is still fresh in your mind. And now, the last thing I'm going to say to you before this message ends. What you walked through tonight is real. It is not going to fade with the morning. It is not going to dissolve under the light of an ordinary Tuesday. The installation has gone into the place where things of this weight live, and the place where things of this weight live does not let go of them easily. You will carry what was placed in you tonight for the rest of your life. Some of you will come back to this message months from now, when you are standing inside the new season and you want to remember the exact night it was named for you the first time. You will press play, and you will hear these words again, and they will still be true. That is how this kind of word works. It does not expire. Go gently into the next hours of your life. Sleep, if you can, or drive home, if you are in a car, or stand up, if you are sitting, and move slowly into the rest of your evening. Do not try to do anything big with what you received tonight. The doing will take care of itself across the days that follow, as the scroll opens further, as the identity line settles, as the river continues to rise around you. You are the long-awaited. The waiting is over. The ceiling is broken. The carrying has begun. Go, chosen one, and know that you go with every promise that was spoken tonight, already arranged, already in motion, already ahead of you on the road, waiting for you to arrive at the specific places where each of them is going to meet you. Peace.